them because they have to get together to get a 2/3 majority.
WTIC News Time is 3:04. Checking traffic. Just some road work, leftover road work on 84 in the eastbound direction in the Hartford area between exits 48 and 49. That's in the right lane. Windsor Locks, 91 South. Still that roving work between 40 and 32 with 2 left lanes taken out. 44 West Avon Mountain. Now they'll be out there in the right lane until about 3:30. Route 9, New Britain, between 34 and 35. Right lane repair work for another 25 minutes or so. Let's check in with the WTIC Weather Center and meteorologist Bob Cox.
Enjoy the picture-perfect weather out there this afternoon. Tons of sun, light wind, high around 75 degrees, give or take. It's mostly clear tonight. We'll see lows probably holding in the upper 40s to about 50. A little cooler maybe in a few towns. Tuesday, still mostly sunny with a few clouds mixing in. It's breezier tomorrow. Southwest winds at 10 to 20 with higher gusts. High temperatures tomorrow 75 to 80, but cooler toward the coast and maybe in parts of southeastern Connecticut as well. Tuesday night, there is the chance for a shower as a cold front approaches, the low near 60, and then becoming mostly sunny Wednesday and a bit breezy with highs in the low 70s, maybe 70 to 75 even. Partly sunny and seasonably cool Thursday, highs in the mid-60s. Looks cloudier, breezier, and milder Friday, highs getting into the 70s, but a couple of showers around and even the chance for some thunder. I'm meteorologist Bob Cox in the WTIC Weather Center.
Dow's up 26 points. NASDAQ's down 85, and the S&P is down 14. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your wireless bill? When it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Switch to Consumer Cellular to get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Plans start at just $20 a month, and now for a limited time, new customers can get their second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit a store near you, or consumercellular.com and start saving today. Plans include $5 credit for autopay and e-billing. Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Johns Hopkins University has found that just mild hearing loss doubles your risk of dementia. So hearing loss isn't something to ignore.
But hearing aids are so expensive and ugly.
Not anymore. Meet Audient Hearing. You can get nearly invisible hearing aids without a prescription starting at $98 a pair. And they're ready to use right out of the box.
Mic check, 1, 2.
How we doing, sir?
How we doing?
And with over
Pretty
a million
good.
customers.
All right.
Easy to trust. Visit audienthearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
I'm an elder law attorney.
1 minute.
With happy clients telling us that they're very thankful for our help.
Hi, I'm Kate from Farmington. When I called Allaire Elder Law, I didn't know exactly what I was looking for, but I knew I needed help. Allaire Elder Law helped me find my way. My husband had a stroke a year ago, and we worked hard to bring him home. I worried about what would happen if either of us had another medical emergency. Allaire Elder Law worked with us to develop a plan that will keep my husband safe at home while protecting our assets. What surprised me most was that I didn't just work with a lawyer. I worked with a wonderful team of people. Charlotte helped me rewrite my will to protect my husband. Amanda helped me gather materials and navigate the Medicaid application. Heather came to our home to meet us, understand our needs, and connect us with a healthcare agency. I'm grateful for the team at Allaire Elder Law.
Find out more at allaireelderlaw.com.
Here we go.
ALLAIRE.
Hey, shh. Calm down. The show is about to start. Reese on the Radio. Turn it up. Turn it up low. Turn it up loud.
It's like a dream come true.
Reese on the Radio.
Yo, let's get it.
Due to the nature of this program, discretion does not exist. It's Reese on the Radio. Right now on WTIC News Talk 1080.
And as usual, your humble host is very excited to be here on a Monday. Welcome back to you, and all of you I can't call it a crazy weekend. It was quiet. It was slow. A lot of things going on a personal and professional level. So the weekends were, they're a little weird. I got an important trip I got to take at the end of the month. I'm not really prepared for it because I have to fly, not digging the flying. Just because of the way that things have been lately, in the air. I'm just saying. Okay, so I'm a bit of a hypochondriac, as you all know. Everything is always affecting me. I'm also a narcissist. I'll be the first to tell you. I'm the first to tell you, but I keep it on the wraps. Just hear me out here. When I say I'm a narcissist, this is not something I do in public. I don't make everything about me, in public. I understand my role here as an employee of WTIC and your host. I don't make every situation in the news about myself, or how can I direct it back to myself. I give personal anecdotes, but privately, yes, I'm a bit of a narcissist. I believe that everything in the world affects me. Things like that I'm going to be sort of encountering. So flying, because it's in the news and we hear every day about some calamity, if I have to fly in some way, I take that news story and make that about me. It used to be really bad. I'd be watching the news before I even got in the radio. When the news would be about some particular weirdness or sickness or outbreak, I was always checking my skin. Like someone was like, do you notice the weird red bumps on your arm? And I was like, holy crap, I have a red bump on my arm. And it would be whatever that is, I've got it. It's just who I am. Just who I am. So I'm working on it. It's a work in progress. It's some 45 years, but I'm getting close. Closer. I don't know what pace I'm going, but I'm getting there. So, yeah, I'm not really particularly happy about that. And it's, just a bunch of other stuff. So I try to distract myself. And I think that's why I'm a news junkie, is I distract myself with the news that I then, of course, inundate myself with being a part of. I don't know. It's a vicious cycle. In the news in particular, which I thought was interesting today, there's a piece of news that happened just this morning that for some odd reason I took personal. I'll play it for you and let you know why, or you'll understand why I took it personally. And it involves Chuck Schumer. And if you haven't seen it yet, I think you will probably be just as ticked off as I was. And it involves the judge, what's her name? Melissa Dugan, is that her name? She is the Milwaukee judge that was just arrested, that everyone's making a big deal out of. We'll get into that today in some detail, because I'm watching the news media ignore. I mean, we're talking like drop like a hot potato Abrego Garcia. It's like they've got no interest in him anymore. They found their new victim, and that is Judge Dugan. And they're not even paying attention to the crime she committed. They only care about the Justice Department arresting her for the crime, making an argument that this is some form of an escalation, if you will. Yes. That what Judge Dugan did by taking a criminal defendant, ushering him out a private or secure exit to make sure that they thwart the federal police, that this is in some way an escalation by the Trump administration. Let me give you an example, which, again, this is so funny. I only call it an escalation because it appears to be the word of the day.
We begin tonight with the escalation in the president's crackdown on illegal immigration.
Today's dramatic escalation in the Trump administration's conflict with judges.
The Trump administration signaling a major escalation in its deportation efforts.
Today, an escalation in the Trump administration's battle with the judiciary.
Tensions between local and federal authorities over President Trump's immigration crackdown escalated today.
We begin this hour with a major escalation of the Trump administration's crackdown on immigration.
We begin with what appears to be a major escalation in the Trump administration's deportation efforts.
And what is a major escalation in the battle here in D.C. over immigration and deportation.
This feels like an insane and reckless escalation from the Trump administration arresting a judge. I will tell you, you are not alone.
Is a dramatic escalation.
More aggressive moves, more escalation.
Trump's escalation of his migrant purge.
This kind of escalatory action.
This is a dramatic escalation.
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 We've seen an escalation.
That's why Western Lensman put that together. Yeah, it's an escalation. Ignoring the crime here, as Pam Bondi described last week.
Learns that ICE was outside to get the guy because he had been deported in 2013, came back in our country, commits these crimes, charged with committing these crimes, victims in court. Judge finds out. She goes out in the hallway, screams at the immigration officers. She's furious, visibly shaken, upset, sends them off to talk to the chief judge. She comes back in the courtroom. You're not going to believe this. Takes the defendant and the defense attorney back in her chambers, takes them out a private exit and tells them to leave, while a state prosecutor and victims of domestic violence are sitting in the courtroom.
Wow.
Yeah, no mention of that anywhere by these people. It's only about what the Trump administration did, ignoring it. But folks, I don't want this all to be lost on you. I want to give this to you from the ground floor. Forget about what we're saying nationally. Forget about what we're saying here in Connecticut or anywhere else for that matter. I want to take you to ground zero in Milwaukee. I want to take you to the mayor of Milwaukee, a guy by the name of, ironically, Cavalier Johnson. I got to play this for you because I got to break it down in so many pieces. The Milwaukee mayor, Cavalier Johnson, being asked by the press to respond to the arrest of Judge Hannah, I got her name wrong, Hannah Dugan. Listen to this exchange back and forth and listen to the mayor's concern here.
What happened here was just showboating. They're just trying to have this show of force, and in the process of doing this in a courthouse where people need to go for court proceedings, they're scaring people away from participating in the process.
Okay. The FBI or ICE or anybody else for that matter coming in to arrest the judge for the crime that she committed or is alleged to have committed is scaring people away from the court system, the mayor says. He went on.
So if they are witness to a crime or something of the sort, they're not going to go and participate.
So if they're a witness to crime, based upon the actions of the FBI, they are not going to participate. Not the actions of the judge who took a criminal defendant while the victims sit in her courtroom and she escorts the criminal defendant out a back way to escape persecution, prosecution, or whatever the case may be. The person, the victim in this case, who's going to be afraid, is going to be more afraid of what the Trump administration did to stop a judge from having a criminal defendant escape prosecution. They're going to be more afraid. The victims didn't sit there and go, what's she doing with the guy who put me in a chokehold? Is she getting them out the courtroom in a back way? This is the mayor.
And that makes our community less safe.
So the issue is with how the arrest happened, not necessarily that there was an investigation.
Again, I don't know all the things that happened there, but I'm...
Oh, wait, I'm sorry. You don't know all the things that happened, Mayor. Then why are you even opining? What are you giving an opinion for? You don't know everything that happened? That doesn't seem to make any sense. You have a lot of opinions about stuff that you know nothing about, but go on.
Saying that the way that they went about this in this ham-handed, haphazard way that this administration has been doing since day one, it's driving people away, or has potential to drive people away from participating in court proceedings, which makes our community less safe. I want people to go to court. I want people to have their day in court.
Who do you think made that less possible? Who do you think made that less possible? The Trump administration that went after a judge that gave a backdoor exit to a criminal suspect while the victims sit in the courtroom. That's who you think. You think Donald Trump's administration did that.
I want people to hold folks accountable in our judicial system, but the actions of this administration are driving people away from doing that, and that's not good for public safety in Milwaukee.
Do you believe this man should be deported?
I'm sorry?
Do you believe this man should be deported?
I don't know any information about the man. I'm talking.
Oh! Wait, he didn't even bother to pay attention to that. I don't know anything about the man because, again, what did I tell you? The focus is on the judge. Keep looking at the judge, everybody. The judge. The judge is wrongfully prosecuted here. The judge has been wrongfully arrested. The judge did nothing wrong. Look at what the Trump administration is doing to the judge. Hey, what about the guy that the judge allowed to go through the back door? I don't know anything about that. Is that a thing? I don't even know what all of this is about. I wasn't really paying attention. I know I'm just angry about the judge. And you should be too.
Talking specifically about the Trump administration's actions as it relates to this case and what they've been doing with immigration overall.
You heard that, right? He's not focusing on the person that she let out the back door.
Specifically about the Trump administration's actions as it relates to this case and what they've been doing with immigration overall since he's been president again. Like, they're scaring people. They're scaring people in this community. They're scaring people in immigrant communities all across the United States.
Nobody should be afraid about a criminal suspect going out the back door who is an illegal alien, that the judge is helping facilitate that escape. The person they should be afraid of is the Trump administration arresting someone who would do just that.
When folks don't participate in our judicial system, bad things happen. Our community becomes less safe. And that's the message that I'm trying to get across.
Again, the message he's trying to get across is that people are going to be less safe. He cares about their safety. There is a key element in this interview that you cannot miss, okay? It's a little ways from now, but I promise I'll play it all the way through. I won't interrupt it anymore. But again, I want you to keep that in mind. The mayor, Cavalier Johnson, cares about safety. That's what he said. It's the driving message here. What happened to the judge is wrong, and he cares about people's safety.
Do you believe this sets a dangerous precedent moving forward to future judges that could be arrested for similar actions?
Quite possibly so, but I hope that the answer is no. I mean, if a judge is being arrested in a courthouse, just imagine the chilling effect that it sends to other folks who would otherwise participate in judicial proceedings in our courthouse, and not just in the Milwaukee County Courthouse, but courthouses across the state of Wisconsin and courthouses across the United States. This makes our community less safe. And that's not a good thing for public safety in Milwaukee or anywhere across our country.
Do you know of this happening anywhere else?
I don't know if this is happening anywhere else. I haven't seen that. I just know that it's happened here, and I'm concerned about what happens on around public safety on the ground in this city. And that's why I'm bringing attention to this right now.
Are you ready? Last question from the reporter. We're talking about public safety here. Last question.
Been in contact with any of the victims that Mr. Ruiz allegedly struck?
No, I have not been in contact with any victims. My concern, again, here is strictly about the tactics used as it relates to this judge and what ICE has done as it relates to other individuals who've been arrested in the courthouse. It sends a chilling effect to other people who will participate in our judicial process here in Milwaukee. And when folks do not step up, when folks do not participate in the judicial process, that makes our community less safe.
Do you understand what I'm saying to you? The victims were victimized twice here. And the mayor, who keeps saying this is about public safety, has not even spoken to the people this illegal choked out, beat up, tried to suffocate. No reaching out to them at all. No concern for them at all. While he talks about public safety. Everybody's got their marching orders here. Everybody has their marching orders. Make this about the judge. Do they think they have a better victim here than Abrego Garcia because it's a judge? Is that what the angle is? Because I'd love to understand it. I'm just not. I'm not understanding it at all. This Ruiz guy who was there beat up the neighbor over loud music, and then his girlfriend practically choked her out. Yeah, and abused her too. People had to end up in the hospital. And here's the mayor, Cavalier. I told you his name was ironic for a reason. Cavalier says he cares about public safety and hasn't even talked to the victims, who in essence, we're talking about, you were in a courtroom. We're the judge. You show up there after this person assaults you. You get there and you think that this person is finally going to pay for their crimes. And the judge, the person adjudicating your case, here's someone, imagine the victims finding out, and he's an illegal that ICE wants to detain. Finally, justice. And they sit in the courtroom and they watch the judge, who is supposed to be getting justice for them, say to Ruiz, hey, you and your attorney, come here, go out the back way. And everyone focus on the judge, that this is an escalation. Well, you reap what you sow, is what my mom used to tell me all the time. I'm sure your mom did too. And if you can arrest the president and no one be above the law, I'm sure it applies here.
The idea that no person is above the law is a bedrock principle of American justice.
No man is above the law, no matter what the crime.
And I agree with you. No man is above the law. No person is above the law.
No one is above the law.
No one is above the law.
No one's above the law.
No one is above the law.
No man is above the law.
Nobody is above the law.
No one is above the law.
No man is above the law.
He has to be held accountable. He's not above the law.
No one's above the law. Either that nor any other title puts you above the rule of law.
And no one is truly above the law.
That is what it means to have a rule of law. That is what it means.
But Andrew Weissman, that last man you just heard, he seems to see the double standard in this.
He is being treated no better or worse than anyone else. This is not selective prosecution. That this is not somebody who's singled out, that he is being treated just like anyone else. That is what it means to have a rule of law. That is what the Justice Department is really signaling and messaging here, is that everyone will be treated, as Merrick Garland has said, as equally in this country. This is really a great day for America.
That was Andrew Weissman talking about Donald Trump when he was indicted. Today, Judge Dugan, charged with aiding and abetting and obstructing, different tune.
So there has been a violation here that we know for sure, and it is not the judge. Right, exactly. You don't do it. Even if you thought that there was a ground for doing this, the judgment call that you thought that this is the case to bring, it tells you everything. There is no adult in the room who would have said, are you kidding me? Why would you possibly do this? And the answer is because we want to send a signal to the judiciary. And that's what you shouldn't be doing.
I will hear from no liberals today on this one. They're all sitting by, cowering behind their radios, listening intently, knowing they should be embarrassed. We'll take a break. We'll come back. More news, more views when we return. It's Reese on the Radio on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC.
Hey, how'd you get your water heater fixed so fast?
Aiello Home Services, same-day plumbing. I gave them a call, and they had a plumber on their way. They even sent the plumber's real-time location, so I knew when they would be here.
Did you say same day? That's crazy.
If you need same-day plumbing, call, click, or text today and say hello at Yellow. Call for details. Licensed for safety. P1027768, D10401465, E118564, S3308699, HIC 628926, SM3004646, HOD 635, HOD 223.
Get a head start to your day with WTIC News Talk 1080. Listen to us live on the Odyssey app before you even hit the road. Get the breakdown on the biggest news stories that Connecticut is talking about. To get started, download the Odyssey app and search for WTIC News Talk 1080.
Hi, Tom Shattuck here. Nope, no bold political predictions. Today, instead, I'm making a bolder prediction. An opportunity, one might say. How about setting a goal to lose 40 pounds by the 4th with Awaken 180? Has a different ring to it when you have a finish line, right? 40 by the 4th. Imagine this. Your scale shows 240 today. How about watching that dip to a cool 200 by Independence Day? Or maybe it's reading over 300 like my scale did. How would it feel seeing 260 by the 4th and on your way to losing 80 pounds? Again, like I did with Awaken 180. Looking back, it took me only 5 weeks to drop my first 40. Of course, that's not the norm, but we'll just say I'm an overachiever. Regardless, if you set your goal and follow the program, you'll crush your goal by the 4th. Then ring Independence Day in, shirt off, confident, martini and burger in hand. Celebrate reaching your goal, knowing you'll keep the weight off thanks to free support for life. 40 by the 4th. Set your goal and attain it with your long-term solution for weight loss. Online at awaken180weightloss.com. That's awaken180weightloss.com.
And now, a WTIC News Update.
3:30. Good afternoon. I'm John Silva. The Board of Regents for Higher Education is announcing Connecticut State Colleges and Universities System Chancellor Terrence Cheng is not being extended, this contract that is, past its end date in June of 2026. Beginning this July 1st, Cheng will transition to another role. He came under fire for questionable and lavish spending habits. The board says it'll name an interim chancellor. UConn announcing the visas of 13 students have been reinstated. They had been revoked by the federal government earlier this month. No reason was given. Woman's in the hospital after she was shot this morning in Hartford. Police found the victim alert and conscious on Farmington Avenue. She was taken to a local hospital for treatment. Man accused of killing a woman and dumping her remains near a cemetery in Groton had a court appearance virtually today. Warrant says the victim was dismembered. 68-year-old Donald Kofel was arrested last week in connection with the death of 58-year-old Suzanne Wormser. Kremlin has declared a 72-hour ceasefire for next month in Ukraine as Russia marks Victory Day in World War II. And the Vatican says the conclave to elect a successor to Pope Francis will begin May 7th. The date was chief on the agenda of cardinals holding informal meetings today to work out church business following the death last week of Pope Francis. WTIC News time is 3:31. Here's Bob Cox with the forecast.
A beauty out there this afternoon with plenty of sunshine, fairly light wind, high around 75 degrees. Mostly clear tonight, lows about 45 to 50 degrees. And tomorrow will be breezier. We'll have a southwest wind increasing to about 10 to 20 miles an hour with higher gusts. It's mostly sunny with a few clouds mixing in. Highs about 75 to 80 tomorrow afternoon. A little cooler toward the coast and in the southeast corner of the state. We pick up the chance for a shower Tuesday night with an approaching cold front, the low holding near 60. The front doesn't arrive until about sunrise Wednesday. And then behind it, it's mostly sunny and a little breezy Wednesday, highs in the low 70s. Right now, Thursday looks partly sunny with highs in the mid-60s, mostly cloudy, breezy, and mild Friday with a couple of showers, even the chance for a thunderstorm, and highs in the 70s. I'm meteorologist Bob Cox in the WTIC Weather Center.
I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Is thinning hair or receding hairline making you self-conscious?
Agreed,
Stop feeling
Susan.
embarrassed about your thinning hair and start looking and feeling your best with Hair Grow by New Nordic. Available online at Amazon, Walmart.com, and NewNordicUSA.com, or in stores at your local CVS. The law firm of Brown, Payne, Dearest & Scott understands that divorce can be intimidating, and the decisions you make today will impact your life forever. Divorce is complicated. There's a lot at stake when considering your future. At Brown, Payne, Dearest & Scott, our team of family attorneys have over 100 years of combined experience and understand every family law case is different. At BPS Lawyers, you get more than a lawyer, you get a full-service law firm. Call us at 860-CALL-BPS or visit bpslawyers.com. Katie Bissonette is responsible for the content of this ad.
Begin your wellness journey at Superior Heart Spas and Leisure. Detox and restore in a sun and soul sauna. Or feel the rush of renewal with a Kodiak cold plunge tub. Melt into tranquility with Zen Awakening massage chairs. Unwind in pure comfort with a Sundance spa. Or stay active with the power and flow of a Sundance swim spa. Elevate your everyday, mind, body, and soul. Superior Heart Spas and Leisure. Your destination for total wellness. Visit us at superiораthome.com.
This is Dale for Northeast Men's Health, where we've successfully treated thousands of men for low testosterone and helped them feel like their old selves again. Please take a moment and listen to how we help Marty.
I was a really grumpy guy, sleeping like garbage, and getting older, the energy level was just in the toilet. And that was what led to me going in. I've been treated at Northeast Men's Health for low testosterone, coming on about 2 years now. Within a few weeks, I started noticing I was sleeping a little bit better. I definitely noticed a higher energy level, but the old man crankiness just went away. I'm able to stay really well organized. Nothing slips through the cracks. Having the T treatment is leading me to keep on top of my game. What I would say to any other guy that is in the same situation where they feel like they're dragging, just call Northeast Men's Health. You won't regret it.
Thanks, Marty. It's true. Low T therapy can dramatically change your life. Your initial appointment is only $99 with results in minutes. And if you start on testosterone the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call today, 800-930-5956, or go to northeastmenshealth.com.
Attention, have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers, so don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-207-4545. That's 800-207-4545. Once again, that's 800-207-4545.
Retirement statements just hit mailboxes, and for many, the shock is real. Some investors lost 20% or more in just the first quarter. If you're close to retirement, that's more than a dip. It's a danger. But here's what most advisors won't tell you. Gold was up over 30% during the same time. That's a 60% swing. And in retirement, that kind of gap can change everything. So compare your Q1 statement to gold's performance. Then call Noble Gold Investments. Noble Gold specializes in helping people protect what they've earned with real assets like gold and silver. If you're tired of watching your nest egg shrink, it may be time for a change. And right now, when you open a qualified account, you'll receive a free 10-ounce silver American flag bar. Compare and call 877-646-5347. That's 877-646-5347. Or visit noblegoldinvestments.com. Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Investing in precious metals, including gold, involves risks. Consult with your tax attorney or financial professional before making an investment decision.
The following heartwarming, informative scene is brought to you by Trust and Will.
Son, your grandpa and I used to work on this car together, and when I'm gone, I want you to have it.
Wow. Thanks, Dad. Doesn't count. What you need is a will. Luckily, Trust and Will makes it easy. Designed by attorneys, but customized by you, you can easily create a state-specific, legally valid document that actually counts. Now, let's let the engine do the talking, am I right? Start your will at trustandwill.com. Use offer code COUNT for 20% off and make it count. Trust and Will is an online estate planning service. For details, see trustandwill.com.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life. $10 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Reese on the radio, making sense of the news. Yeah, even when it makes no sense at all. Now on WTIC, News Talk 1080.
Well, we've only got a couple of days left. I think we're over on Wednesday, if that's correct, right? That's got to be it.
A la peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
It has been a fantastic run, at least from my point of view. I've been really, really happy about it. I don't know what the numbers are. I don't know exactly where we are with it, but I do hope and I believe from the bottom of my heart, I've been just sitting idly by saying to myself, we'll see. If it wasn't a success, we'll just deal with it. But it was a good effort nonetheless. Between Rounds, our great sponsor, who does our last but not least call it a day, is giving $1 for every purchase of a Reese's peanut butter and jelly sandwich on a bagel roll or any type of bread. And it goes to the Friendly Hands Food Bank. So I just want to thank them for a great run. We'll talk about it again at the end of the month. We'll see if we can get somebody from Between Rounds on the air to talk about it, to see if it was a success, if we can talk them into doing it again. If not, this year, next year, just something, hopefully. I'm going to be doing all types of charity during my tenure here because I kind of feel like it's an opportunity to give back. I feel good about it. I think there are so many people who are deserving, and I think that's how we grow communities, through charity, helping those less fortunate and those who are in need. I think that those are things that people can come together on. I would hate to think that somebody would spit on the idea of helping people, unless they're, radical ne'er-do-wells. But I think that everybody, wants to play a part in that. I think that's just, I don't know. I think that's just who we are as people, that we want to give when we can. We can't always give, but it's nice to when we can. We always feel good about ourselves. And even the best part is that we forget about it, which then makes us want that feeling again, so we give more. I think that's always beneficial as well. Let's get to the phones real quick because I got plenty of stuff to get into. It is Monday, and I am loaded for bear, so I want to get the phone calls. If you do wish to opine and jump into the conversation, you could go to reseontheradio.com. Yes, the website's back up. And you can join us in the chat room on Facebook or X or YouTube or Rumble. And you can also call us up at 860-522-WTIC, 860-522-9842. Let's get to two of our regulars here. Adam's in East Hartford. How are you, sir?
Hey, Reese, thanks for always taking my call, brother.
You call. Why not? You took you put the effort in to call. Why not show you some love? How you doing, buddy?
No, good. And I mentioned you, and I wanted you to know because on Sunday afternoon after church, right next to John Fitz Boulevard, I went to the Between Rounds because the end of the month is coming soon. And I got another one of peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, but on a plain bagel, but not a heated bagel, thank God.
You learned the second time around. You're never going to get Roland not to heat up his bagel for some odd reason. Everything has got to be cooked food. From what I understand, I have it on really, really high sort of information that even Roland cooks his ice cream. Everything's got to be cooked.
That's pretty funny. But hey, I promise to be brief, but I want to touch a topic. But before I get to my topic, with my photophobia, my eye problems, it was a little bit messy. Right now, I'm applying for SS disability because I got some vision problems and balance issues. But hey, what I called about though, the squabble took place again this morning on a different station, but it was with Mark and Mary Faye.
I heard.
It's hard because I like them both. In other words, I like how Mark won't trash you if you're not totally on the Trump train on certain issues. He's also conservative, but when I saw Mary at a Christmas dinner, I gave her and Amy Borden a kiss on the cheek. Just a greeting for the holidays, and it's awkward. And then with
listen, there's nothing to be. Listen, there is nothing to be awkward about. This little back and forth between Mark and Mary. Let me tell you what I love about this. It is very simple. And, people on the left can actually learn from it. The stated goal is always the stated goal. But as conservatives, we fight quite often. You know, it's like, it doesn't have to be family. It could be friends. It could be acquaintances. But wherever you fall short, right, if you're not meeting that mark, incidentally, Mark will call you on it, right? So one of two things are going to happen in that exchange. Either you're going to defend yourself or throw bombs, right? And I think in this case, it's at the bomb throwing point. So I look at that as like when everybody's talking about, it's like, oh, I can't believe that they're at odds at one another. No. You want this kind of, this back and forth between those people because, you know, one person is going to get personal. One person is going to get highly upset and say, you know, how dare you, or having the audacity to challenge me. But I say for me, that's healthy because I want people challenging me. I don't get it a lot, but I should. But I think that Mark is one of these guys where he's got a very high bar. Okay? And if you don't meet it, if you don't meet that bar, he will give you hell. And do I think that's always productive? No. But you know what I do? And Mark knows this. As much as he has had it in for me and gotten mad at me over and over again, you know what I never do? I've never changed my point of view when it comes to Mark. And that is, 1, he's effective. 2, he's relevant. And 3, he's necessary. So whatever personal grievances people have with Mark is always going to be those 3 things. And if you don't take it personal and understand where he's coming from, because I do, I think that, like I said, Mark's got a high bar. I don't agree with that high bar all the time, but his high bar is necessary. And I like the fact that he will call them right to their face and he is unrelenting about it. And he'll meet you sometimes halfway, sometimes he won't, but he's got a standard. For me, that is the measure of any individual, that he never wavers on who he is.
Hey, can I tell you something before I hang up?
Yes, sir.
I give people compliments, and I was telling the lady in the subway that this afternoon on Main Street in East Hartford that I try to be polite to people. And I was in a store once, like a CVS or something, and there was a black guy, I'm 61, and maybe he was around 60, 65-ish, and he had a nice suit on. And I said to the man, I said, that's a good-looking suit. Because I'm polite to people, you know?
You should be. I think you should be polite to anybody who isn't. And I, you know what, like you, I like striking up conversations with strangers. I'll be standing on the line at the CVS, and someone will, like, have something on, or they'll be, I don't know, just anything, and something will happen, and I'll just strike up a conversation. My wife thinks it's the weirdest thing, but I think that what ends up happening is either I gain a new friend or an associate, and it always turns out great. I always have an interesting conversation, and it always brightens my day. Thank you, Adam. I appreciate you, sir. Let's go to Steve in Plainville. How are you, Steve?
Hey, Reese. How you doing?
Pretty good, sir.
I'm the guy that got you on Facebook a couple of times.
Yes.
I was talking to you about the old jazz.
Yes.
I was really into the old jazz some time ago. Coltrane, Davis. In fact, I saw Davis. I saw Herbie Hancock. I seen Chick Corea, to name a few. I really enjoy that music. I find that to be very sophisticated, that music.
Then that would make me one of the most unsophisticated people in the world, Steve, because let me tell you this. You know what? Yeah. As a person growing up with a family, my grandfather and my grandmother loved jazz. Coltrane, Miles Davis, you name it. That was their thing. My grandfather would play jazz, and now so it was. And again, I've talked about it on this show. I loved my grandfather Augusta. He was night and day. He was the sunshine of my life. Every time he was around, I adored him. But when he played jazz, I did everything but gnaw off my right arm to get out of the house. I just wasn't a fan. I wasn't. Jazz was just, you know what it was? I like rhythm. Jazz was too unpredictable for my ears. And I wasn't, again, I'm probably not sophisticated enough.
Very unpredictable.
Yes.
I wasn't sure if you were an aficionado or
not. No. Jazz is just unpredictable for me. It's too unpredictable for me to get the scope of it. Classical music, like I relate more to classical than I do to jazz, because jazz is almost, I feel like jazz music is almost like freestyle poetry. You know, it just goes anywhere it wants to at any time. And that's hard. Like, as a person who likes structure, that kind of music is never going to work for me.
True. Were you a fan of Jimi Hendrix?
Very late. Jimi Hendrix got into my life about as late as the Rolling Stones did. I had to be mature enough for that. And I think that's the case. I think that my biggest problem, and I've always admitted it, when I'm not mature enough for a music, I don't, or a genre, I never say that it sucks. I just say, I'm not mature enough for it yet. And now I'm mature enough for Jimi Hendrix.
Because I firmly believe Hendrix's last album, Crash Landing, he was going toward jazz rock. And I think he would have played with Miles down the road. Absolutely.
I could totally see that as a jazz psychedelic rock supergroup that would be phenomenal. That is amazing. Thank you, Steve. I'm about to go to a break soon, sir. Thank you so much.
Okay.
You got it. We'll get to more of your phone calls in a minute, so stay on the lines. I will get you there. I think I got Ralph in South Carolina on the line. We'll get to him in a second. We got plenty of stuff to get into, so let me just give you a preview of what that's about. I want to give you a preview to an interview that I had to record yesterday, and I think I'm going to air tomorrow, if not Wednesday, but it should be tomorrow. It involves the Solomon Schechter Day School in West Hartford. There was a case there where a teacher has been arrested, not just for an event that happened at that school, but at other schools. You may have heard about it in the news. There have been multiple arrests for this one teacher that was involved in an incident at the Solomon Schechter School. The focus of this interview, although has to do with the allegations at this school, it was how the school handled the incident that will alarm you. And I had an opportunity to go over the documents. I had an opportunity to go over some of the information that is associated here. Also, I will also be bringing you, that one's going to wait, but I've got some details, of course, on the Janet Serrano case as well, because I've been waiting in the wings for that for some last-minute FOIAs to come in. And I think we already got one that was in so far. I haven't heard about the others yet, but I have some details on that. Plus, I have let's just say I've got some information. I want to get to that, and that will come in the next coming days. But within the next 2 days, the Solomon Schechter Day School in West Hartford. This story is alarming, primarily because it involves so many things at the school that parents should be concerned. Okay, and if you've had an experience like this at your school, you need to get in touch with us here at Reese on the Radio. Okay, so we'll get into that also tomorrow. We've got the stupidest thing I've read today. Also has to do with illegals here locally. We'll talk about that as well. So stick around. More news, more views than you can shake a stick at. It's Reese on the Radio on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC.
Who sells Continental tires for less than Town Fair Tire? Nobody. Who has a better selection of Continental tires than Town Fair Tire? Nobody. And who gives you more free services for the life of those Continental tires? Nobody. Town Fair Tire has over 100 locations and over 600,000 tires in stock, all at the guaranteed lowest price. And that's why we say nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody.
Name brands at discount prices. Town Fair Tire.
Hi, everybody. It's Brian Green from the Commercial Break Podcast. It's likely you've heard of the show if you're directly related to me or you follow our MySpace page. But I'm not here to talk to those three listeners. I'm here to appeal to people who haven't heard the show. Along with my co-host, Kristen Joy Hoadley, we're taking a deeper look at the topics that are affecting our youth today. Like, who are the people who are dating ghosts? Where did all these pickup artists come from? And why doesn't my preacher have a nicer private jet? We understand that these are the issues you really want to get to the bottom of. The Commercial Break is now available on the Odyssey app or wherever you find your podcasts.
How did you get your tripping breakers fixed so fast?
Ayala Home Services, same day electrical. I gave them a call and they had a technician on their way. They even sent the technician's real-time location so I knew when they would be here.
Did you say same day? That's crazy.
If you need same-day electrical, call, click, or text today and say hello, ALO. Call for details. Licensed for safety. P10277688, D10401465, E1185643, S330869, HIC 628926, SM3004646, HOD 635, HOD 223.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, HIMS can help. Through HIMS.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at HIMS.com/radio, and from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but HIMS can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to HIMS.com/radio. That's HIMS.com/radio for your free online visit. HIMS.com/RADIO.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
If Ernest Hemingway was alive today, would he say this to you?
Shakespeare, Mark Twain, Edgar Allan Poe, all great writers. And after reading your book, I simply must add you to the list.
Wait, you don't have a book yet. So make a free call to Page Publishing. Turn your book idea into publishing gold.
215-6818. 800-215-6818. That's 800-215-6818.
A la peanut butter
Reese
and
on the
jelly
Radio. Ask your doctor if
sandwiches.
Common sense is right for you. On News Talk 1080 WTIC.
Again, that's what I get for not cutting off my audio clips. That was my fault. Reese on the Radio. We're back. News Talk 1080 WTIC. Let's get to Ralph in South Carolina. How we doing, Ralphie?
Good, Reese. You have a serious problem, Reese. You don't understand that progressive liberal judges don't have to obey the law.
I know.
That's your problem. Joe Biden, when the Supreme Court said you cannot forgive student loans, what did he do? He forgave student loans. And the two moron.
Ralph is right.
None.
Ralph, you are.
Why?
You got to either stand still or something. You're really, really underwater. Just call me back if you can before we go to a break. If not, I'll just get you on the top of the hour. I promise. Yeah, his phone has been off for a lot. It has to be in the place that he's sitting in. Let's go to Jim in Wellington. How we doing, Jim?
I got to tell you, it kind of baffles my mind. You know, Congress has the ability to rein in some of these judges and the way they make their decisions.
That's exactly what Mike Johnson had been saying just a couple of weeks ago. He had a whole press conference about this, saying that he was going
that's
to.
Great.
He's saying that he was working with Congress to pass, if not a resolution, but to rein in these district judges.
Well, he's telling me he's working with Congress now. I'm not sure if I know the whole law, but they've got control of the House. They've got control of the Senate.
Indeed.
Unless you need 60 votes, unless they need 60 votes in the Senate, maybe I don't understand it correctly.
Yeah, I don't know whether or not. I don't never heard anything about the 60-vote majority in this regard. But it's true. They do have the ability to rein in these judges. There's no move that's been made, perhaps because the focus has been on the budget and getting, the quote-unquote big, beautiful bill passed. That they're trying not to thwart or trying to make that an issue inside Congress right now. That could be the case. I don't know, but I think you're right.
And this whole idea of due process, I love the way the slide rule of what's facts and what's fiction continues to go on with the Democratic Party when it concerns that gentleman down in El Salvador and others. I don't know how many people have been murdered in this country from illegal aliens. But where is the due process for them?
Oh, none.
And if you want to tell me this gentleman that's down in El Salvador right now didn't get due process, how? How is that possible? He was in court at least once. Two judges looked at his case. And so where is it that there's no due process? And what about the 10 million people that came across the border during the Biden administration? What was the due process there?
I love the way Greg Gutfeld put it. He said you have 10 million people who crossed the border who skipped the line and crossed the border. Now you want to put them online to get them out. Thank you, Jim. I appreciate you. You're absolutely right. Let's get our first check of the weather and traffic. I don't think, is Bob Cox in for weather today, in for Jason Caterina? And Mark Christopher's in the BPS Traffic Center. At least I think that is. Hey, Mark.
Hey, Reese, good afternoon to you and to everyone. If you are heading into downtown Hartford right now, 91 southbound, look for some slow traffic as you move East Windsor into Windsor Locks between 44 and 42, 91 southbound. 2 left lanes are out on the Dexter Coffin Bridge with the road work there. 91 southbound delays 33 down to 32 A and B in Hartford. On the northbound side of 91, moving well Cromwell through downtown up into Windsor. Westbound 84 slows approaching the Bulkley Bridge out to 47 Sigourney. 84 eastbound, you've got delays from 44 Prospect Oakwood down into the tunnel. If you're traveling 291 through 84, that looks good east of the river. 2 westbound's a little slow as you merge with 84 west. 9 northbound Middletown, some slow traffic Harbor Park up to the Aragoni Bridge. Again, delays approaching exit 30. In Berlin, up to between 32 and 34 on the Berlin-New Britain line. We've got some left lane road work going on there, slowing you down. 84 westbound in Waterbury, slowing, approaching the Mixmaster. If you are heading into New Haven right now, 95 southbound delays 46 down to 44. Northbound Parkway slowing by 59. And if you are traveling into the Newtown area, 84 eastbound, you're going to see some delays from 10 up to exit 11. And if you are traveling right now northbound on the Wilbercross Parkway in Meriden, we have an accident reported up by exit 68W. That's the ramp that takes you to 691 West. So look for delays now approaching exit 67 behind that. Once again, that's northbound on the Parkway in Meriden. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC pleasant and warmer for our Monday afternoon with plenty of sunshine, kicking the week off with a beautiful day, the high of 77. Partly cloudy tonight, comfy with the low down to 49. Now Tuesday, increasing clouds, breezy and very warm. The elevated fire threat's going to continue in areas of dry brush due to the gusty winds and low humidity, the high 79. Wednesday, sunny to partly cloudy, another great day, a little cooler, the high of 71. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
WTIC is celebrating 100 years on the air and 100 years of serving Connecticut. This is WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford, an Odyssey station.
It's 4 o'clock, Hartford temperature, 73 degrees. Good afternoon, I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. Terrence Cheng, the embattled head of the Connecticut State Colleges and Universities system, is on the way out. State auditors found Cheng spent public funds on expensive meals and was the source of other questionable spending. In a deal with the Board of Regents, Cheng is stepping away as chancellor and will become a strategic advisor. He'll be paid his full $442,000 salary through June of 2026. Republicans like Senate Minority Leader Steve Harding are critical of that arrangement.
Quietly, the Board of Regents not only doesn't fire Mr. Cheng after his lavish expenditures, they rehire him with a position with less oversight, less responsibility, and the same exact salary he was receiving when he was chancellor. I mean, what does that say about how they view taxpayer money?
Harding says Governor Lamont should have gotten rid of Cheng sooner. Lamont left that decision to the board. Democratic lawmakers Derek Slapp and Greg Haddad say they understand and appreciate the board's decision to demote Cheng. The Anti-Defamation League says hate crimes against Jews are up and the local community is feeling the impact. Here's WTIC's Dave Mager.
The ADL says while anti-Semitic incidents are up 340% in the U.S. over the last 5 years, they're up more than 500% in Connecticut over the same span. Rabbi Tuvia Brander of Young Israel of West Hartford says plans for an upcoming event were complicated when hackers vandalized a website.
Add to that the money and the time and the energy that the Jewish community as a whole puts into ensuring that our gatherings are safe, ensuring that we have armed security at our events and at our synagogues so that people can feel comfortable coming.
Senator Richard Blumenthal says while the Trump administration claims to be on board with fighting anti-Semitism, it's cutting civil rights enforcement and grants for hate crime reporting. Dave Maker, WTIC 1080 News.
Woman's in the hospital after she was found shot. This occurred in the area of Farmington Avenue this morning. Woman with several gunshot wounds, say police, taken to a local hospital. She was conscious and alert when found. No word yet on any arrests or a motive. President Trump marks 100 days in office tomorrow. Today, he's focusing on immigration. More from Natalie Brand at the White House.
The White House's border czar says there's been around 139,000 deportations since President Trump took office. The administration has put posters on the White House north lawn of people it's identified as unauthorized immigrants convicted of crimes.
The president signs a pair of executive orders today, one on strengthening immigration enforcement and the other on sanctuary cities. Republicans huddling on Capitol Hill over the president's framework for tax breaks and spending cuts.
The biggest questions heading into this are what they are going to do with social safety net programs, especially Medicaid, because that budget proposal, that framework, that outline said they have to cut about $800 billion from specific parts of the federal budget, and that money has to come from somewhere.
And the lights are out in portions of Spain and Portugal. Spain's prime minister says that a strong oscillation in the grid is behind the outage. Train service, airports, hospitals, emergency services, all running on backup power. Albert Fernandez is using Wi-Fi outside a store in Barcelona.
How dependent we are on technology, so it kind of makes you reflect how integral it is to our day-to-day life.
Closing bell report sponsored by Bouvier Insurance. The Dow up 114 points, the Nasdaq down 16, S&P up 3 points. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Feel like everything's out? Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com. Our psychics are available to talk 24/7, and we guarantee if it's not life-changing, it's free. Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
Out here in the middle of these acres, it can feel like you're the only person on Earth. That's how it feels when you're struggling with your mental health. But you don't have to feel alone. Find more information at loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your wireless bill? When it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Switch to Consumer Cellular to get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Plans start at just $20 a month, and now for a limited time, new customers can get their second month free. Call 1-888-FREE. Visit a store near you or consumercellular.com and start saving today. Plans include $5 credit for autopay and e-billing. Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
It's Reese on the radio. And don't say we didn't warn you on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
Let me get on Ralph in here. Ralph, I don't know where it was. You were completely underwater. You sound better now.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, now I got an echo, but you're much better. Go ahead.
Yeah, the reason I called is because you don't understand progressives and liberals, Reese. They don't have to obey laws. They don't apply to them. A perfect example of that is Joe Biden, when the Supreme Court said you cannot pay off student loans, he did it anyway.
Yeah.
And
In fact, he was...
All the
to just add credence to your point, here's Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, the new Democrat frontrunner.
There has been thought, I believe, given to this. Senator Ron Wyden has already issued statements, for example, advising what we should do in a situation like this, which I concur, which is that I believe that the Biden administration should ignore this ruling. I think that
ignored the judges, they said.
Yeah, but do you remember all the demonstrations they had when he did that?
None, not a one.
Yeah, you must have forgotten. I mean, you look at these people, Reese, I'm sorry, but the Democratic Party, and looking at what they're doing and what their values are, has probably sunk to the lowest in its history. And that's a personal opinion. Going back years and years and years, I was a Democrat. And I said, no, these people are not on my side. These people do not stand for what I believe in.
You know what? I'm going to address that in a little bit. So, Ralph, so stand by for that, because you make a very good point about today's show, as it pertains to this Judge Dugan, of course, the news media and the talking heads, as it were, about their defense of her, and clearly not the defense of the people who were attacked in this case. So I'm going to break that down. There's something that's happening within the Democrat Party that I think you're alluding to, and it's very, very smart that you caught up to it. Thank you, man. I appreciate you calling me back. Let's get another check of our weather. I thought Jason Caterina was actually out because I heard Bob Cox later in the afternoon. But he's here, so we're happy for that. And so is Mark Christopher. He is in the BPS Traffic Center. How's your weekend, bud?
Very busy but good. Very busy but good.
DJing, I presume?
Huh?
Were you DJing or something? Was that?
Yeah, 3 gigs over the weekend.
3 gigs? What were we like? 2 weddings and a funeral? No.
Not quite. No weddings, but 3 gigs, and the legs are a little bit sore today.
Oh, standing up all day.
We're standing up and lifting that stuff breaking down, setting up 3 times. So
well, God bless you. God bless you.
Hey, if you're heading into Hartford right now, Reese southbound 91 delays 33 down to 32 A and B. Again, the northbound side of 91, that looks pretty good. Cromwell up through downtown up into Windsor. If you're traveling westbound 84, you're slowing now as you approach the Bulkley Bridge into the area of exit 45 Flatbush Avenue. 84 eastbound slowing a half mile before 46 Avenue down to the Bulkley. 291 through 84 okay east of the river. 2 eastbound's okay Glastonbury to Marlboro. 9 northbound slowing Harbor Park up to the Aragoni Bridge. We do have some road work in the left lane. 9 northbound between exit 32 and 34. So look for delays approaching exit 31 in Berlin. Behind that, seeing some slow traffic southbound side of 9 down by exit 25. If you're heading 84 westbound in Waterbury, a little slow as you approach the Mixmaster. 84 westbound in Newtown, delays approaching exit 11 up to exit 10. And if you're heading the southbound side of the Parkway, a little slow as you move down by the West Rock Tunnel. Northbound Parkway slowing in New Haven by 59. Southbound 95 in New Haven slowing 46 down to 43 in West Haven. And look for slow traffic northbound on the Parkway between exit 67 and 68W. We had an accident there earlier that was blocking lane, but it looks like that has cleared out of the way. Traffic and weather together on the 8's WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Well, a great start to our Monday, and somebody stepping on my turf. We got beef here? I don't know what's going on. Anyway, mainly clear tonight. The low down to 47. Sunshine mixing with some clouds for us on our Tuesday. Another great day. Breezy, very warm. The high up to 80. Mostly cloudy, mild. Can't rule out a shower Tuesday night. The low down to 61. Great day Wednesday. Sunny to partly cloudy. Breezy and pleasant. The highs of 71. A blend of sun and clouds for Thursday up to 67. Friday going to be a bit of an active day. A couple of showers and a thunderstorm could bring localized damaging wind gusts, some hail, and flooding downpours too. So keep a watchful weather eye out on Friday. The high Friday of 75. Right now, 71 in Waterbury, 74 Danbury, 70 Bridgeport, and 74 in Hartford. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
It's the Peter L. Brown Company's 65th anniversary. For a limited time, purchase high-performance double-pane windows from the Peter L. Brown Company and get an upgrade to super-efficient triple-pane glass at no additional charge. For a free estimate, please visit peterlbrown.com.
Wisdom teeth giving you trouble? Columbia Dental's expert oral surgeons specialize in comfortable and efficient wisdom tooth removal. Open 7 days a week. Call 860-645-0111 or visit columbiadental.com.
My feet are so wide I can never find sneakers that fit.
Hi, this is Michael from New Balance, South Windsor and Avon. I know that struggling to find the right width is frustrating, and that's why we stock wide, and extra wide. So no matter the width, we have something for your feet. Stop in today to have your feet measured and scanned by one of our fit specialists. New Balance, South Windsor in the Shops at Evergreen Walk, and Avon Marketplace on Route 44 in Avon.
Attention, have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Barely getting by making minimum payments. With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers, so don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction for, call 800-207-4545. That's 800-207-4545. Once again, that's 800-207-4545.
President of the Chris Murphy Fan Club, Reese on the Radio, on News Talk 1080, WTIC.
Chris Murphy's dead serious about this bearded thing. they are really, really, like, they're serious about the bearded thing. And I think it's a J.D. Vance thing. I'll talk about that maybe later on in the show. This comes from public radio here in Connecticut. The writer here is Daniela Donsel. And nothing sounds crazier than a news reporter. And that's what this is. This is a reporter, not a journalist. There is a difference. But nothing is worse than a reporter who sounds like they are in bed with the cause of the subject. But this is an article. Headline: Amid reports of wrongful detentions, Connecticut activists teach immigrants their constitutional rights. Now, here's the breakdown of the story. The person that is in this article is standing behind a cardboard box with a hat on that says ICE, and they are shielding their face so they do not face any repercussions for what they're doing. Again, helping immigrants know their constitutional rights. They're hiding their face. Here's the story. Rojas, who does not use her full name in order to protect herself and the community she works with, stands behind the cardboard door wearing an ICE hat that serves as props during the Know Your Rights trainings that she leads. Rojas believes teaching people their constitutional rights and how to use these tactics helps the community center in New Haven members of the immigrant community to put on a kind of play. She helps them put on a play so they know what their constitutional rights are. Now, again, they are doing this under the cover. They're doing this behind cardboard signs. They are hiding their identities in articles so that they can help legal immigrants know their constitutional rights. Anybody see anything wrong with that? Now, if you're a reporter, you just report. If you're a journalist, you investigate. You ask probing questions. Wait a minute. So you're saying that these people have constitutional rights? Yes. Yes. You're saying that you're protecting them in the event that a rogue government tries to deport them when they have a constitutional right to be here. Nespa? Yes. So why are you hiding your name and your identity? Why are you concerned about repercussions? Do you think it's the SS? Do you think it's the secret police? Do you think it's the brown shirts? What are you thinking? But no, that's not even in the article. She says, I'm committed to waking my people up so they know that he or she or they can share with others their rights. Rojas is an immigrant who is actively involved with the undocumented community in her city. Well, it can't be both, because if they're undocumented, that means they have no right to be here. And if they have no right to be here, how can you protect them by telling them what their constitutional rights are? They don't have any. They're undocumented. Undocumented means you have no constitutional rights. Now, I know some people are going to push back on that and says, but yes, they do, Reese. No, they don't. No. Where's their jurisdiction? They have no documentation to be here. They have no Social Security card that says that they have a Social Security right to be here. They have no birth certificate that says that they are a member of this country. There's no jurisdiction, not even for the country or locally. They have no driver's license, no photo ID, no nothing. They are, as the term goes, undocumented. So without having document, there is no jurisdiction, and therefore not having jurisdiction means you have no constitutional rights. As far as constitutional rights are concerned, yes, you must be represented, or let's just say you should be represented by an attorney. But one is not afforded you because you are not a legal citizen of the United States. See how that works? See, a legal citizen of the United States, if you cannot afford an attorney, one will be provided for you. If you are an illegal, that is not the same. You don't have that constitutional right. Not a citizen. That's how that works. So when you hear these people talk about this stuff, about working on their constitutional rights, and a reporter who just repeats what they're told, that's what a reporter does. They report. They're like a security guard at the mall. Observe and report. That's it. What did you see? I saw this, that, and the third, and they told me this, that, and the third. Did you investigate further? No, sir. Not my job, above my pay grade. I am here to observe and report. That's what reporters do. Just saying. Okay? We'll get into that, and of course, your phone calls. Let's get into those now. 860-522-WTIC. Leo's in Burlington. How are you, Leo? Leo?
Yes.
Hey, how are you, sir?
Oh, hold on, Tom. Is this the right dude, Tom?
No, this is Reese on the radio.
Oh, it's Reese. Okay. I wanted to talk to Tom confidential, but I'm cool with what's going on. No. This is it's a really long story. I just don't want to be on the air.
Okay, well, if it's something that needs to be said privately, why not just contact me at reasonotheradio.com, or you can contact Tom Shattuck.
That's why I'm not.
He's not on. He's not on in the afternoon. But I've got to go. But I appreciate.
Right, he's on in the morning.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you. Let's go to Mike in Plainville. How are you, Mike?
I see the mysterious Mr. Chang is on the move again.
Who? Oh, you're talking about. Who are we talking about here?
The chancellor, the one that was caught with improprieties of running up tabs at hotels and
yes. Yes.
And who knows what else he was up to now. Okay, that's a hell of a deal. You go, you get a demotion, and you get the same rate of pay. Hey, this has been going on with the state for decades. People have no idea. I've seen it firsthand. I've seen it. I've seen the abuses. It'll make people.
Well, you notice there's an investigation into this now.
Oh yeah.
What
kind of investigation?
Well, look, trust me. This is one of those things, and I wish that Republicans in Connecticut would follow the lead of this administration. And that is, it's not like you can't independently investigate this abuse of power, this money laundering, all of this ridiculous fundraising through Act Blue. That can all be done here locally.
You know what? What John Rowland did was nothing compared to what these clowns are doing now. Malloy and Rel and that loser we have sitting in the state capitol right now. I'll come out when I feel like it and work when I want to. Okay? What the hell is that?
Again, like I said, people need to have the wherewithal. It doesn't matter. And I don't know what, but you know what? I'll talk to people about that. That's just it's such a wasted thing to talk about in Connecticut. I kind of feel like people are addicted to just being upset and angry and beefing about it and waiting for everyone else to respond to it, waiting for the local media to cover it, which is never going to happen. I tell you about this media all the time. They don't care.
I got a feeling with this judge in Milwaukee. You know what? She's just going to get she won't get pistol whipped. She may get a freaking ruler across her knuckles, but she won't.
Oh, you don't think that you don't think she's gonna get a rip? I mean, you don't think that she's seriously gonna suffer legally for this? Listen to me.
She should never. No, what I'm saying is she should never sit on that bench again. She should never wear a robe.
I think
have you seen her?
Yes, I think. Listen, and I've watched some tapes with her talking about social justice and all this other stuff. That woman should get exactly what's coming to her, and that is the full extent of the law. What she did was criminal, and what she did to those victims was far worse. And she should actually, as Chuck Schumer likes to say, she should reap the whirlwind, for what she did.
I wish I could have been the one to put the handcuffs on her and take her away.
Thank you, Mike. Let me get to Paula in Simsbury. Hello, Paula.
Hi, Reese. I love this subject. You know I do. Because you are so right.
They don't have rights. The illegals don't have rights.
Nope.
I have rights. I'm a legal immigrant. I have more rights, and they should be deported.
I don't understand. I think,
Paula,
the thing that I'm trying to understand with those who are advocates for illegals in the country, I get that there is a selling point here, and understand me when I say the selling point. So the idea is to sell the idea that these are poor, wayward souls, and why not allow them to come to the country that has all of these riches? I'll tell you, and I'll ask your opinion about this and what I'm trying to sort of give the hypocrisy in all of this. I find it interesting that they don't understand why we don't follow that plight, when at the same time they're suggesting these people are coming here to this country for a better life. At the same time, those people call us not the greatest country in the world, a country that is homophobic, racist, and sexist. At the same time, trying to sell us the fact that these people are coming into the country for a better life. We thought we sucked. So that's the reason why they can't sell it. You know what I mean? Like, you can't tell us in one breath, America sucks. Oh, like, then why should we let all of these illegals in? Well, because they want a better life. I'm like,
I don't get it. It's the hypocrisy, like you said. It's just insane. It's like a roller coaster of insanity. I don't understand it, Reese, and it's like getting all this free ride is disgusting, because I know my family never got any free ride from the government. We never asked for it. We came with nothing, with suitcases, and that's it.
It was unheard of.
Like,
I'll tell you this, Paula. The interesting thing is that I, again, having the weird advantage, and I know people would look at it today and goes, what's that teenager hanging out with all of those old Vietnam vets for? And look, I did, but it would be weird today by comparison. But I talked to one of my good friends, Derek Headley. His father came here from Panama and became the CPA for the Bank of New York, right? In New York City. He was the head CPA there. He came in from Panama. And I listened to that man talk to me about my generation and my Americanism versus his immigration. And he said, that's the difference. He goes, people who come into this country legally work 10, 15 times harder than you kids do. And that's that's the place that he came from. That immigration versus this immigration is two different things. When your parents got here, they frowned at getting on the dole, because they understood what that was like by having their lifestyle rationed. People who come from Cuba, why do they end up being Republican when they end up in Miami? Because they knew what it was like to have government control of everything. There's sort of a causation, if you will. So that's the immigrant population that came here in the 50s, the 60s, the 70s. They never thought to take government money. They thought about doing it on their own.
Yep, totally agree.
And of course, I talked too long, and now you're breaking up. God bless you, Paul. I'm sorry, dear. Yeah. I appreciate you.
Oh, my God, my Reese.
Thank you. You do. Yeah, I mean, that's, again, it's a completely, think about the immigration that we had here over the years. You know who they are. No one got into the country, and the first thing they did was go down to social services. Some people had 3, 4 generations in their house. I remember living in Queens. I'll talk about this real quick. I lived in Queens, in what was considered Bricktown in Queens. It's near Southside Jamaica, Queens. I want to say it was right before. I was going back and forth between Queens and Manhattan. So by now, I had an apartment in New York, and I was coming back to Queens to come and hang out a lot. And there was this Jamaican family that lived right next door. And they lived in the whole house next door. 3 floors and a basement. So we're talking main level, second level and attic, and they had a basement. So in essentially 4 levels. Every generation of this Jamaican family lived there, and they all went to work. And they all paid for the bills in that one house. And each and every one of them, it was almost like ticking them off. Each one of them saved enough money to move on and start their own family somewhere else. That's what it was like back in the 50s, 60s, and 70s. Multi-generational families living in the house, them making a way for themselves and then going off and taking care of their own. That was the way it was. Now, we're hauling them in and putting them right into social services. It's a completely different makeup now. Anyway, we'll take your calls, 860-522-WTIC. Let's get another check of the weather and traffic with Jason Caterina and Mark Christophers in the BPS Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
Hey, Reese, thank you very much. Well, if you're heading into Hartford right now, eastbound side of 84, look for delays about a half mile before 46th Avenue down to the Bulkley. Westbound 84 slowing in East Hartford, approaching the Bulkley Bridge to 47 Sigourney. 91 southbound delays 33, down to 32 A and B. No problems northbound 91 Cromwell up into Windsor. 291 through 84 moving well. 2 eastbounds in good shape, Glastonbury to Marlboro. 9 northbound slowing, approaching Harbor Park to the Aragoni Bridge. 9 north again is slowing from 32 in Berlin up to exit 35 in New Britain. Southbound Route 9, we have an accident at exit 35 in New Britain. It's in the left lane there, so people are swinging around that. Looks like delays are back to the 72 interchange behind that. Also, if you're traveling on the northbound side of the parkway, look out for a crash northbound by 68W. That's the ramp that takes you to 691 West in Meriden, and you got delays approaching exit 67 behind that. Westbound 84 Waterbury slowing in the Mixmaster. 84 eastbound Newtown slowing 10 to 11. Southbound Parkway delays 60 into the West Rock. 95 South New Haven slowing 46 to 43 in West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8's WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Pleasant and warmer for our Monday afternoon with plenty of sunshine, kicking the week off with a beautiful day, the high of 77. Partly cloudy tonight, comfy with the low down to 49. Now Tuesday, increasing clouds, breezy and very warm. The elevated fire threat's going to continue in areas of dry brush due to the gusty winds and low humidity, the high 79. Wednesday, sunny to partly cloudy, another great day, a little cooler, the high of 71. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
And now, a WTIC news update.
It's 4:30, Hartford temperature 73 degrees. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. Terrence Chang, the chancellor for the Connecticut State Colleges and Universities system, is out. The Board of Regents says Chang, who came under fire for questionable spending habits, will transition to a new role in the summer. Some Republicans wanted him fired outright for lavish spending and misuse of a credit card. The board is expected to name an interim chancellor. Ansonia police, they've released photos and video of that street takeover early Saturday morning. Video shows an unruly mob descending on a police cruiser in the area of Wakely Avenue and Franklin Street. One person throws a traffic cone at a cruiser, cracking its windshield, while someone else jumps on the hood of the car. That investigation is ongoing. 13 Yukon students had their visas restored by the federal government. They were unexpectedly canceled earlier this month with no reason given. The university made that announcement today. Woman's in the hospital after she was shot overnight in Hartford. Police say they responded to an area of Farmington Ave where they found the woman alert and conscious. She's being treated at an area hospital. 72-hour ceasefire being declared by the Kremlin. Set to take place next week in Russia's war with Ukraine. That's so Moscow can mark 80 years for Victory Day over Nazi Germany in World War II. A blackout has brought much of Spain and Portugal to a standstill, affecting millions of people. Spanish power distributor calls it exceptional and extraordinary. It says restoring power could take still a few hours more. The cause not immediately clear. Wall Street, a mixed bag today. The Dow up 114 points, the NASDAQ down 16, and the S&P up 3. Red Sox idle tonight. They begin a series Tuesday in Toronto against the Jays. Yanks open a series tonight in Baltimore against the Orioles. The Mets are playing the Nationals this afternoon. Eastern League, Yard Goats have the night off. They're in Chesapeake tomorrow. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Individual results may vary. Prescription required. Actual price depends on product and plan purchased. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
You've noticed your hair is thinning out. Or maybe you've noticed your game in the bedroom is getting a bit cold. Let's make this real simple. These are normal things that happen to lots of guys at some point. And through HIMS, getting help couldn't be more, as we said, simple. The process is 100% online, so you just have to answer a few simple questions, and a medical provider will determine if treatment is right for you. For your hair, that means access to a range of doctor-trusted treatments designed to help you regrow hair in as few as 3 to 6 months. And for your more intimate moments, that means access to treatments made to give you a boost in the bedroom, like Viagra, Cialis, and their generic counterparts, which can cost up to 95% less through Hims. If prescribed, treatment is shipped right to your door. A few clicks, and you're dealing with these things before they become a thing. So simple. Find your hair loss and ED solutions today at Hims.com. That's Hims.com. HIMS.com.
As men get older, we all know that. And often we just accept the changes as the way it is. But some of those changes, such as bad sleep patterns, low sex drive, brain fog, no energy, and reduced gains in the gym, could be due to low testosterone. And that is something you can change. This is Dale for Northeast Men's Health. And even if you're in your 30s, if you're experiencing some or all of the symptoms I just noted, you very well may need low testosterone treatment. With our treatment protocols, if you're like most men, you'll be amazed at the change. You'll have more energy, improved mental clarity, your sleep will be better, so will your workouts, and you'll likely find your sex drive increases too. So give us a call today and make a change for the good. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start treatment the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 800-930-5956. That's 800-930-5956. Or go to northeastmenshealth.com. That's northeastmenshealth.com. We have 5 offices across the Northeast to serve you. Northeast Men's Health, a Promedic restorative health practice.
Stay locked in. Reese on the Radio is on WTIC News Talk 1080.
That's what I get. I wasn't even paying attention. I was busy doing other things. Stephen Miller was given an interview, or at least I was watching an interview, and I got so caught up in that I didn't even hear the break that we were coming out of. Let's go back to the phones. Chip is in Coventry. We'll talk to him real quick before the break. How we doing, Chip?
I almost said Chip, my man. I'm still waking up. Hey, Reese, just one real quick point. How long have you been in radio? Just curious.
Started in, I want to say 2001, about April of this year. April of 2001. Wow.
Good for you. Good for you.
Now, when I started, don't get me.
End.
If you're asking, like in essence, as an on-air host, that didn't happen until September 11th of 2001.
Can't forget that day.
Yeah, never would. That forced me on the air. So that was my first broadcast day as a talk show host. Was on September 11th, but I started as an intern for a radio station in April of 2001. But go ahead. I'm sorry. What was your point?
I caught the tail end. Even when I was home, I watched Fox because that's, to me, real news. And so I caught the tail end, and I think one of your callers not that long ago, a gentleman was talking about what I wanted to talk about, so I'll put a little twist on it. Judge Dugan or Hoogan from Milwaukee, you know, the one that let the illegal. You know what? I'm going to laugh, and because I'm not a mean guy for the most part, but here's a lady wearing the robe, and she,
sure,
because they do intimidate me when I ever have to go, which is rare. But they're the judge, right? And they're above the law, so they think.
Well, they do carry. Listen about it. That judge, they hold your life in their hands, in their very hands. So there's an intimidation related to that.
I'm real quickly. I've been to court a couple of times, and I'm not going to lie. Man, I'll tell you what, I'll do it. Yes, ma'am. No, I'm not even sure what to say. What do I say, Your Honor, your judge?
Right.
You want a coffee? You want a Diet Coke? But seriously, what gets me is, this isn't going on. Thank God, again, I'm a Trump supporter, and we're getting a lot of the illegal stuff that shouldn't have been here. But this judge, I'm trying to visualize the back door. I think it was the jury door.
Yeah, it was the jury door, which goes to a private, like if you have a sequestered jury, this is a door that they go through so that no one in the public knows how to get to them, can get to them, and they can secretly walk back and forth to the courtroom. So yeah, that in and of itself, it's self-explanatory. What she did with this criminal defendant is put him in a place where no one can get to him, and it is, in essence, a secret passageway. But I got to take a break, Chip, but I totally get where you're coming from. We're going to get another check of the traffic. I got so much more on this as far as audio-wise that we'll get to, as well as the stupidest thing that I read today when we return. So stick around for that. Jason Caterina's got your weather, and Mark Christopher, he's in the BPS Traffic Center. There he is. Hey, Mark. Oh, I think he's just finishing up the other place.
I'm wrapping up here. Hey, guys.
Okay.
Good afternoon, Reese. Good afternoon, everyone. Southbound 91 delays 33 down to 32 IMD. Northbound 91 moving well. Cromwell through downtown up into Windsor. Westbound 84 is tied up approaching the Bulkgate Bridge at 47 Sigourney. 84 eastbound is a little slow. 46 Sisson Avenue into the tunnel. 291 384 moving well. 2 eastbound's okay. Glastonbury to Marlboro. 9 northbound is slowing. Harbor Park up to the Aragoni Bridge. Now, if you are traveling 9 southbound, we have an accident. Partial left lane block right at 35 in New Britain. So you're seeing some slow traffic from the 72 interchange down to exit 35 on 9 south. 9 northbound is sluggish stop and go from exit 32 up to the accident scene, all rubbernecking on the northbound side of Route 9. 9 northbound Middletown slowing Harbor Park up to the Aragoni Bridge. If you're heading into Meriden right now, look for some slow traffic on the Parkway, right at the end of the Parkway between 67 and 68W. There was an accident earlier by 68Ws. That's a slow traffic there. If you're heading into Waterbury, westbound 84 slowing on the Mixmaster. 84 eastbound in Newtown, a little slow by exit 11. Southbound Parkway is a little tight as you head down into the West Rock Tunnel. 95 South New Haven slows 46 to 43 in West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8's WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Well, it's been a great day. Mainly clear tonight. The low down to 47. The sun mixes with some clouds on our Tuesday. Breezy and very warm. The high up to 80. Wednesday, sunny to partly cloudy. Breezy, pleasant. The high down to 71. Blend of sun and clouds for Thursday. The high 67. Cloudy, couple of showers and thunderstorms Friday. Some of those could produce localized damaging wind gusts, hail, and flooding downpours. The high of 75 for us on Friday. Right now, it is 73 in Mansfield, 70 in New Haven, and it's 74 in Hartford. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
You ask a lot of your liver, so give it the support it needs with Active Liver. Go to NordicUSA.com, Amazon, or ask for Active Liver at your local CVS. New you, new Nordic.
Join us this Sunday for Tumalo Financial, your go-to for retirement planning and taxes. Tune in to the father-son duo from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. or catch replay from 5 to 6 p.m. Tumalo Financial, retirement planning with integrity on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Slow? Clogged? Backed up? Don't worry. ALO Home Services has you covered. For only $93, our technician will clear any drain in your home. And if it can't be cleared, it's free. Call for details. Licensed for safety. P10277-688, D10401465, E1185643, S3308699, HIC 628926, SM3004646, HOD 635, HOD 223.
We all hear the radio at the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
The self-proclaimed love child of Rush Limbaugh.
They're running a strange program, y'all.
Reese on the radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
That's right. We're back. Reese on the radio, News Talk 1080 WTIC. Now, folks, let me tell you, what I'm about to play next is going to get you upset. So stand by. It's the stupidest thing I read today.
Yes, you do. Stupid as can be.
This could very well be the stupidest person on the face of the earth.
Stupidest thing I read today comes from none other than Chuck Schumer. Chuck Schumer had the audacity to chime in about the arrest of Judge Hannah Duggar in Milwaukee. And I just want to play for you his comments and back them up with why you should be outraged. You all know it. You all know it. As soon as you hear it, you will go, wait a minute.
They're trying to intimidate judges. This is not the first time or the second. They've said they want to impeach judges. They said they're going to go after judges who don't agree with them. That is so against the Constitution. What Trump, Biondi, and the whole Justice Department are trying to do is push that judge, threaten that judge, so the judge is no longer impartial. It is outrageous. You cannot have a democracy without an independent judiciary, and they're trying to clip the wings of that independence.
And then, now, tell me you're not mad. Tell me you didn't hear that and just go, what? What the what? Yes, that's right. Chuck Schumer complaining that arresting a judge for a criminal act is intimidating the judiciary. That guy said it. So you can imagine plenty of people online lost it, as you are. Because, of course, Chucky Schumer, he is famous for this right outside the Supreme Court.
Taking away fundamental rights. I want to tell you, Gorsuch, I want to tell you, Kavanaugh, you have released the whirlwind, and you will pay the price. You won't know what hit you if you go forward with these awful decisions.
I couldn't believe it when I heard it. I couldn't believe it. Again, all of these people are out of their mind. They're completely out of they're just, it's insane. It's not like they don't know what the judge did, but I told you, I know what the whole deal is. I guess I have to use the term psyop, but that's what it is. Pay attention to this. A judge got arrested. But they don't really think that no one knows what the judge was arrested for. Do they really believe that no one is going to inquire why the judge got arrested? Even the most uninformed, ill-informed, or malinformed individuals? The mainstream media does not own that space anymore. Nowhere. If the kids are on TikTok or Instagram or Facebook or whatever it is, Discord, wherever they are, they all know what the judge did. They all know. How do you not know you're going to look silly defending this woman? How do you not know? But there they are, screaming and hollering about it. If you missed it, Mayor Cavalier Johnson, still love that name, Cavalier, said this.
What happened here was just showboating. They're just trying to have this show of force, and in the process of doing this in a courthouse where people need to go for court proceedings, they're scaring people away from participating in the process. So if they are witness to a crime or something of the sort, they're not going to go and participate.
So if they're a witness to a crime, they will not participate in the judicial system. They won't show up to testify because Donald Trump had a judge arrested for committing a crime. Now, again, I know that Mayor Cavalier is not stupid. I know he isn't. Sad part is that, again, if you listen to the reporters, that's the other side of this, folks. Listen to the reporters who know what happened. Listen to the questions that they ask. It is barely about what the criminal defendant has been accused of, what the judge did with the criminal defendant. It lacks any conversation about the victims of the criminal defendant. It is only about the judge. Have you seen this happen before? It's as if to act like it was randomly, like the FBI just showed up and just grabbed a random judge and put her in handcuffs. Nothing took place to reach there. It's kind of the way that they view abortion. Like you wake up one morning and you're pregnant. You got to get an abortion. The baby just grew in his belly like cancer.
And that makes our community less safe.
So the issue is with how the arrest happened, not necessarily that there was an investigation.
Again, I don't know all the things that happened.
Did you hear that? So the issue is with the fact that the arrest happened and not what led to it? He's got no answer for that. I don't know the details of that because he doesn't care about them.
But I'm saying that the way that they went about this, in this ham-handed, haphazard way that this administration has been doing since day one, it's driving people away, or has potential to drive people away from participating in court proceedings, which makes our community less safe.
Now, what do you think it would do if you thought in your head you had been the victim of a crime? Imagine that. You had been a victim of a crime. You were asked to show up in court. If the prosecutor had said to you, John Q. Public, Jane Q. Public, it is important that you come into the courtroom so that the judge can see you there, so they understand the impact of the crime that has happened against you. And when they get there, the judge takes the person who has wronged you and eases them out of the court to shield them from further prosecution from the feds, regardless if it's about immigration, that they had taken a political stance on the issue and found a way to escort them out. And you think that the person that you would have a problem with, that you would leave that courtroom saying, damn, Donald Trump, it's your fault I didn't get justice. Like, how stupid are we? How stupid could you possibly think anyone is?
I want people to go to court. I want people to have their day in court. I want people to hold folks accountable in our judicial system, but the actions of this administration are driving people away from doing that. And that's
like the administration is inside that courtroom every day. I'm going to fast forward to the end and I'll take one phone call. This is, again, if I have it up queued up right, I hope I do. A reporter finally asking about the victims of Ruiz, the person who was ushered into the back door by Judge Dugan.
About what happens on around public safety on the ground in this city. And that's why I'm bringing attention to this right now.
Have you been in contact with any of the victims that Mr. Ruiz allegedly struck?
No, I have not been in contact with any victims. My concern, again, here is strictly about the tactics used as it relates to this judge and what ICE has done as it relates to other individuals who've been arrested in the courthouse.
The concern is with the criminal, not the victim. And that's what's going on all across the country. Here in Connecticut, too. The concern is with the criminal alien. Not with the rule of law, not with the citizens. You guys are going to be all right. You're going to be fine. 860-522-WTIC. Let's go to Tom in Thomaston. How are you, sir?
Hey. That audio, Schumer. He's ridiculous. It proves that he is a narcissist and sociopath. He's not a psychopath, but he's a sociopath because he will say anything
at any time
and try to make at any time. The only thing I hope, and I truly believe, the one thing I think this country has united is, most of us want fairness, and there's nothing fair in statements like that. I think that's one of the reasons why younger people are turning more conservative. Reese, my hope is we got to get a lot of high school kids that are seeing the hypocrisy. They got to get into college programs that make them news people.
Yeah,
because we got about 20 years left. If the young people right now don't get into journalism and not be shills for the Republican Party, just be fair.
Yeah, exactly. I think that you can be an honest look. I think that as a journalist, you can be an honest journalist, even if what you're writing or what you're reporting on may be pro-liberal or pro-Democrat. If they are right on an issue, remember, if you go straight down the line, right, if you're calling balls and strikes, and the liberal ideology is the one that comes out victorious or out to be the most prudent, I'm good with that because I don't have an argument. I can look at it and say, well, you know what? I didn't see it that way. Clearly, this reporter has laid it down the line and given a perspective. And again, that should happen by accident. You know what I mean? If it's got a liberal or conservative bent, it should happen by accident. It should happen just by doing the reporting.
Sure, exactly. And another example, those people that got deported the other day. You probably played it already today. I haven't been able to listen to it.
That's okay. Recently. You're talking about the children, the 4-year-old or the 7-year-old? Yeah.
Were deported. An idiot with a high school education knows you can't deport an American citizen. If they didn't let those kids go back to the country with their mothers, they'd be outraged that we're, stealing the children.
And again, it shows you exactly how dishonest this is. If you watch that early morning White House press briefing with Caroline Leavitt and Tom Homan, even Homan took a win after the reporter who suggested that American citizens were sent. It was like, you're being dishonest. You know damn well that the person who was deported was an illegal alien who had 2 children. They gave him the choice. Did the children stay with the parents or stay with someone here in the United States? The mother said, no, my babies are coming with me. Fine. The babies go with you. Other than that, they're going to be living. You can't leave them in an apartment by themselves. And the mother made the final decision. She made the decision that she was taking her children. I'm getting deported. I'm an illegal. I'm taking my babies. What parent wouldn't? But to suggest that they deported legal aliens, legal citizens of the United States without giving that context explains exactly who they are.
That's the only good outcome of that whole weekend is we got it on tape where they said right to their face, of course they went with their parents.
Yes.
They're their kids,
Exactly. And we didn't, and here's the thing, they didn't separate families, which would have been the narrative if they had done it. Right? If they'd allowed the kids to stay and the mom had been deported, the headline would be, Trump administration is separating families. That's what it would have been.
Yeah. As much as I want, a good conservative politician, we got to get good, fair journalists first.
Yeah. And indeed, that's, what? And I think that we'd have more people, if young people took that bent where, look, it's just to get to the facts and it's not to just repeat or regurgitate what you heard or be a stenographer, we would have better journalism in this country. But, there's a concerted effort to get liberal media out into the masses. I guess they don't understand why it's failing. Thank you, Tom. I appreciate you, sir. And a good point about that is, here's the thing. I look at journalism today the same way that I look at any other product put on American shelves at the store, at the big box, or whatever it is. Have you ever seen an item that one day was everywhere and then it was gone? And when you find out why it's gone, it's because the customer wasn't interested anymore. The customer said, yeah, it was a fad. We liked it in the beginning, but then it got old, it got stale, and we lost interest. Well, that comes with everything you have to purchase, even the news. The news isn't free, ladies and gentlemen. Maybe with the exception of the news that comes over your television, but even then, you have a right to switch channels. And no one's going to buy your product if over and over again it keeps failing to meet your measure of quality. That's what's going to happen. It's just the way it works. So if the school system or these journalism schools are going to keep regurgitating or keep sending out the same dribble by every new journalist that comes in and says, make sure you have a liberal bent, make sure you have the MSNBC, NBC, ABC bent on everything, that kid is not going to have a career. That kid is going to work at an establishment and they're going to lose their job. Ask the Washington Post. Ask the folks over at the New York Times. Every month you hear a story about hundreds of reporters laid off. Why? In order for you to stay, you've got to make in order for you to stick around, your product has got to be worth people reading. I love that article because that article is always good every time I read it. You got to keep reinventing it every day. You got to keep them. You got to compel them. But if they know you're just going to come out and do the same thing, look, CNN. Who's going to turn it in? In order for CNN to actually get somewhere in the ratings as of late, what did they have to do? They brought in this Scott Jennings. He's the biggest thing on CNN. He doesn't even have a show. They have them on every program just so people will watch the darn network. Doing something they couldn't do before and wondering why they're reaping the rewards. Probably because the old ingredient sucks. Let's get another check of the weather and traffic. Jason Caterina's got your weather, and Mark Christopher. He's in the BPS Traffic Center. How are we doing out there, Mark?
Well, we got a couple of things going on right now. Reese, thank you very much. This traffic report is being brought to you by Columbia Implant Center in Manchester. And if you are traveling on the southbound side of 91, you got delays 33 down to 32 A and B. We have an accident down in Marion now. It's 91 southbound between 18 and 17. Looks like the right lane's blocked there. So look for delays approaching 19 behind that. Northbound 91, that moves well. Cromwell through downtown up into Windsor. Westbound side of 84 slowing, approaching the Bulkley Bridge out to 45 Flatbush. 84 eastbound slows 48 Capitol Avenue into the tunnel. 2 westbound slowing from 1D up to the 84 West merge in East Hartford. 291, 384 okay. If you're heading in toward the Middletown area, 9 northbound slowing Harvard Park up to the Ariconi Bridge. 9 southbound, the remains of an accident in New Britain down by exit 35. It's in the left shoulder. Delays back to the 72 interchange behind that. Northbound Route 9 slowing from 32 up to the accident scene, all rubbernecking there. If you are heading in toward the Waterbury area, westbound 84 a little slow approaching the Mixmaster. 84 eastbound Danbury sluggish 3 to 5. 84 eastbound in Newtown slowing 10 to 11. Southbound Parkway is a little tight as you move by exit 60 toward the West Rock Tunnel. 95 South New Haven slowing from 46 down to exit 43. Some slow traffic northbound on the Parkway in Meriden from exit 67 up to exit 68W because of an accident there. Stuck in traffic again, don't waste another minute. Columbia Implant Center in Manchester gets you in and out fast, often in just one day, open 7 days a week. Get your smile back now. Columbia Implant Center, ColumbiaImplantCenter.com. Traffic and weather together on the 8's WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather. For the rest of our Monday afternoon, pleasant and warmer with plenty of sunshine. A beautiful day to kick off the week with the high of 77. Partly cloudy, comfy tonight. The low dipping back to 49. Now Tuesday, increasing clouds, breezy and warm once again. Going to continue with that elevated fire threat in areas of dry brush due to the gusty winds and low humidity. The high of 79. Wednesday, sunny to partly cloudy, breezy. Nice, the high of 71. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
WTIC is celebrating 100 years on the air and 100 years of serving Connecticut. This is WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford, an Odyssey station.
5 o'clock, good afternoon. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. A man accused of killing a woman whose remains were found near a cemetery in Groton last month appeared before a judge virtually today. Donald Cofell is charged in the murder of Suzanne Wormser. The two were roommates in an Allen Street apartment. According to a warrant, they had argued over money before Cofell confessed to beating Wormser with a baseball bat and disposing of her dismembered body near Colonel Ledyard Cemetery. Nicholas Zeman tells WFSB he would often give the suspect rides, and he remembers one day in particular not too long ago.
He had like a rough odor to him. It almost smelled sweet at first, and then it became worse and worse. He said, I don't know if I told you this. We got in a big fight. We got in a really large argument.
Cofell is due back in court in June. State audits found Terrence Cheng, the chancellor of the state colleges and university system, spent public funds on expensive meals and other questionable items. Now in a deal with the Board of Regents, he'll step down at the end of June. He'll become a strategic advisor. His full salary of $442,000 on the books through June of next year. Republicans like State Senate Minority Leader Steve Harding say Cheng should have been gone long ago.
Well, I think he should have been fired immediately upon the revelation that he was using his card on dry cleaning, luxury travel, and lavish steak dinners. This shouldn't have been anything that was dragged out. He should have been fired, and the state should have moved on and found a new chancellor.
Now, Governor Lamont has said Cheng's future was up to the board. Democratic state senators Derek Slapp and Craig Haddad say they understand and appreciate the board's decision. Legislative Democrats are reminding student loan borrowers to of help that is available to them in state as the Trump administration vows to start collecting on default loans next month. That includes garnishing wages up to 15% if necessary. Avon State Representative Elena Cavras de Gras says, or talks about the state's student loan repayment program that gives Connecticut college graduates $5,000 per year up to 4 years.
That not only is this a retention bill to keep people in Connecticut, it is an economic participation bill. We want people to start families here. We want people to buy homes here. We want people to be able to live lives without the stress of this debt weighing on them.
They have to meet certain qualifications to get the money. More information available at ohe.ct.gov. The Anti-Defamation League says anti-Semitic incidents in Connecticut are up more than 500% over a 5-year period. Synagogues and community centers are reporting bomb threats and other interference, while some Jewish students have been targeted by classmates. Rabbi Tuvia Brander of Young Israel of West Hartford says it's even costing more to run events because of the need to hire armed security.
Matt, shut up. Nobody's sensitive. I thought that was funny.
To make sure that our rights are real. And that
no,
the
not at all.
anti-Semitism we face don't result in a hate tax on the groups that are targeted by those hateful actors.
Senator Richard Blumenthal says the Trump administration's cutting grants for hate crime reporting and victims' hotlines, even while claiming to fight anti-Semitism on college campuses. The administration says this could be a key week in efforts to stop the war between Russia and Ukraine. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt.
While he remains optimistic he can strike a deal, he's also being realistic as well.
Now, Vladimir Putin is proposing a 72-hour ceasefire coinciding with Russia's May 9th commemorations of the 80th anniversary of the defeat of Nazi Germany in World War II. Dow finished up 114 points on Wall Street today. The NASDAQ lost 16. The S&P was up 3 points. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Hi, Tom Shattuck here. No predictions. Today, instead, I'm making a bolder prediction. An opportunity, one might say. How about setting a goal to lose 40 pounds by the 4th with Awaken 180? Has a different ring to it when you have a finish line, right? 40 by the 4th. Imagine this. Your scale shows 240 today. How about watching that dip to a cool 200 by Independence Day? Or maybe it's reading over 300 like my scale did. How would it feel seeing 260 by the 4th and on your way to losing 80 pounds? Again, like I did with Awaken 180. Looking back, it took me only 5 weeks to drop my first 40. Of course, that's not the norm, but we'll just say I'm an overachiever. Regardless, if you set your goal and follow the program, you'll crush your goal by the 4th. Then ring Independence Day in. Shirt off, confident, martini and burger in hand. Celebrate reaching your goal, knowing you'll keep the weight off thanks to free support. 40 by the 4th. Set your goal and attain it with your long-term solution for weight loss. Online at awaken180weightloss.com. That's awaken180weightloss.com.
The hour that packs a punch. It's Reese on the Radio on WTIC News Talk 1080.
We've still got plenty of news and plenty of views to get into in a little bit. I want to give a shout out to Craig in the car. Give him an applause. He reminded me too late. But if you go back and listen to last week's show, Friday, for the Friday Night Dance Party, I was playing some music by Remy Wolf, and we had mentioned some other people. Jason Caterino had brought up Tori Amos, which immediately made me start digging in the crates for her music. But Craig in the car mentioned somebody I forgot about, and you guys will remember her. Not one person called and mentioned her, but even Greg realized it later on. He was like, how did I miss this one? Fiona Apple. Oh, come on. I don't know what guy. You may not, again, these were all sort of like, very Lilith Fair type singers, but please tell me you did not. Tell me you did not have the biggest crush on Fiona Apple. You probably couldn't cite one song by her. But if you did not see her on MTV or VH1 or whatever it was, you did not see that woman and go, holy mackerel. I cannot believe I forgot about her. Yeah. Criminal banger of a song. Yes. Fiona Apple was absolutely gorgeous. I can't believe I forgot her. With everybody I was mentioning, Fiona Apple never even popped into my head. So I take complete responsibility for that, and I thank Craig for bringing it up. Let's get another check of the weather and traffic with Mark Christopher and Jason Catarinos, who's got weather in the BPS Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
Hey, Reese, thank you very much. Good afternoon to you, and good afternoon, everyone. If you're heading in toward the Hartford area right now and you're on the southbound side of I-91, look for slow traffic from exit 33 down to 32 A and B. After that, a good ride until you get down into Meriden. A little slow between 20 and 19. We had an earlier accident between 18 and 17. Looks like that's cleared out of the way now. If you are traveling on the northbound side of 91, that moves well. Cromwell through downtown up into Windsor. Westbound 84 tight up approaching the Bulkley Bridge to 47 Sigourney. 84 eastbound, just a little slow down as you move 48 Capitol Avenue into the tunnel. 291 through 84 okay. 2 westbound slowing in East Hartford. 1D up to the 84 West merge. Now, if you are traveling on the southbound side of Route 9 and you're in the New Britain area, you're going to see some slow traffic now. There's an accident between exit, it looks like it's just after exit 35 on the left shoulder, so delays are kicking back toward the 72 interchange behind that. Northbound Route 9 slows 32 up to the accident scene. That's all rubbernecking there. If you're heading into Waterbury, westbound 84 is a little slow, approaching the Mixmaster. Northbound Parkway a little slow as you move up on exit 67 up to exit 68W. Had an accident there earlier as you approach the 691 interchange on the Parkway northbound. If you're heading into Danbury, 84 eastbound slows 3 to 5. Again, 84 eastbound slowing in Newtown 10 to 11. And southbound 95 New Haven, that's running slow from 46 down to 43 in West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8's WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
After a beautiful day tonight, mainly clear. The low down to 47. Sun mixing with some clouds on our Tuesday. Breezy and very warm. The high up to 80. Cloudy, mild. Can't rule out a shower Tuesday night. The low down to 61. A pleasant day Wednesday, midweek. Sunny to partly cloudy. Breezy, the high 71. A blend of sun and clouds Thursday with the high of 67. Then Friday, an active day. Some showers, a couple of thunderstorms. They could bring some localized damaging wind gusts, hail, and flooding downpours. The high of 75 on Friday. Right now, it is 72 in Waterbury, it's 75 in Danbury, it's 78 in Meriden, and it's 75 in Hartford. I'm meteorologist Jason Catarina in the WTIC Weather Center.
We promise fast, friendly, reliable service. Visit us at calljoetheplumber.com.
Need dental implants? Columbia Dental's prosthodontic experts specialize in placing and restoring implants for a natural, confident smile. Open 7 days a week. Call 860-645-0111 or visit columbiadental.com.
It's the Peter L. Brown Company's 65th anniversary. For a limited time, purchase high-performance double-pane windows from the Peter L. Brown Company and get an upgrade to super-efficient triple-pane glass at no additional charge. For a free estimate, please visit peterlbrown.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
They told us nothing but lies.
These timeshare thieves out there are terrible.
They bullied us.
Our timeshare is all a scam.
They stole from us. They were thieves.
I was completely taken advantage of.
Hello, I'm Chuck McDowell, founder and CEO of Wesley Financial Group, and I know the tough spot you're in. Are you asking yourself, why did I buy that timeshare? I'll tell you why, because that presentation wasn't a normal sales pitch. It was a show to convince you that timeshare is a great investment. They told you it was available today and today only. They said you're foolish if you don't buy, and unfortunately, you believed them. We get over 3,000 complaints a week from folks just like you that were misled into buying a timeshare. Give us a call. I guarantee if we take you as a client, we will cancel your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call now for your free information kit. 800-885-3300. 800-885-3300. 800-885-3300.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Made a text marketing messages. Message data rates may apply. Reply stop, opt out. Consult a doctor prior to use.
Wow, you look amazing. What have you been doing?
For New Year's, I wanted to try Ozempic, Wegovy, or other GLP-1 medications everyone's talked about. I found this great company called Zelfie. If you qualify, their providers can prescribe medications like Ozempic and Wegovy and other GLP-1 medications that are 80 to 90% less expensive, all 100% online.
I can get GLP-1 medications for 80 to 90% less and do it all online? No doctor's office or pharmacy?
Yes, Zelfie can provide semaglutide or tirzepatide, the active ingredients in Ozempic and other expensive GLP-1s, but for 80 to 90% less and shipped directly to your door.
How do I get started with Zelfie?
Just send them a text.
Text DATE to 200-300 to get started this New Year's with Zelfie. Get the same active ingredients in Wegovy or Ozempic for... less, 100% online. Don't wait. Text DATE to 200-300 right now for a link to your exclusive offer. Text DATE to 200-300. DATE to 200-300.
Reese on the Radio is getting ready to drop some knowledge on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Drop it.
We're back. It's Reese on the Radio, News Talk 1080 WTIC. CNN, of course, is reporting it's getting bad for Donald Trump.
Hey, we are starting right here at the Magic Wall to break down CNN's exclusive new polling being released right now. What's it show? Americans are increasingly turning against the president on the central issue that got him reelected. You guessed it, it's the economy.
Yes, they are worried about the economy all of a sudden. Donald Trump is underwater in the polling data due to the economy. And, this is something that Democrats should be screaming and hollering about while they're holding sit-ins on the stoop. I don't know what that's about. Did you see that? The Democrats were sitting on the stoop of the Capitol, just hanging out on the stoop, singing songs, going back and forth. Kumbaya, my Lord. Frank Lutz, who is a pollster, often used a focus group, an online focus group on Zoom or something. It went a little like this.
I need to ask you an issue that no one's brought up and that has crashed your 401ks, most of you. Your tariffs. Stock market is way down.
It needed a correction.
Oh, so you support it?
Yes. You bet.
Yep.
How many?
And I have to tell you,
how many?
My 401k wasn't impacted at all.
How many? First off, how many of you did not lose any money over the crash of the stock market? One individual, two people. So, Serena.
The Biden administration, I lost more money than the Trump administration by far.
In 2020,
like
in 2022, they crashed it by 25%. Yeah. For the whole year.
No one's upset over this?
No.
No.
Nobody.
There's not a
endgame
single
here,
40-year period in the history of the stock market where the stock market hasn't appreciated at an average rate of about 7%. There's ups and downs and corrections, and sometimes people are foolish and they jump out, buy high, sell low. But if people just get in and stay the course, they'll be just fine.
Again, like I said, regular folks versus the news media. I don't know. You got to make that decision on your own. You just got to. Let's go to my good friend, Wall Street Joe in New Hampshire. What's up, buddy?
Listening to Frank doesn't have any idea what the market is all about. He's calling the market just the patterns and feathers. What the hell is the matter with him? There's no common sense in the stock market. Yeah, it was 44,000. Now it's around 40. So you're looking at 8%. During the course of the year, the market will have a high and low, 20 to 30% from its high and low point. Frank West doesn't know what he's talking about. He has no sense of what the stock market is all about. He just showed he has no credibility on the stock market.
I know. That was the reason why you saw his reaction to actual people who have 401ks and the way it's affecting them. Frank Lutz is going at this from the media angle. The people in the media tell him what to think or how the people are supposed to think, and then he actually talks to real people, and he gets the complete antithesis of that, and he doesn't know what to do with himself. What? You're not? What do you mean you're not? Again, this is the bubble. This is the bursting of the bubble. So now he's got to go to the news media. He's got to go on CNN and MSNBC and tell those whack jobs, I'm sorry, folks, you guys are reporting calamity, but in the real world, that's not happening. Now, it's not to say that there aren't some people in the who have their 401ks haven't been affected, but that to a lot of people is a shocker. I know a lot of people just heard that and just went, oh, that's strange. That's not what you hear every day.
It's too bad.
Joe? I think he got cut off. Sorry, Joe. Anyway, let me move on. 860-522-WTIC. Hey, Marcus in West Hartford. We talked about him earlier today. What's going on, buddy?
You did?
Yeah.
Hey, first of all, Sade Adu is the OG. I don't care who you put up against her.
Who? Sade Adu?
was
Oh, Sade,
Yeah, from
Sade.
Sade, the
Oh,
lead
yeah.
singer.
The lead. Okay, now
She-
hold on. We're
she-
talking
she's the
about
OG.
we're talking about a particular judge. Like you wouldn't put Sade in the same
okay.
area
I-
of
I
because
got
we're
you.
talking about
Yeah,
Fiona
okay.
Apple, Annie DeFranco.
I got it.
Those
So
areas.
Call me freaky, but I love Shirley Manson from Garbage.
Okay, yeah, I can go for that.
yeah. Anybody? I mean, whether it's Crush or Stupid Girl, and
Yeah.
her band is tight. Listen, important stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm listening to you talking about journalism.
Mhm.
I'm going to tell you, it was easier running into burning buildings than it is to gather information and try to get it out into the public or when you challenge people. And I'm hoping you'll assist me in breaking another local story. I believe that my story is going to, there's no way that this council member is going to survive this. I think she just self-destructed. She's a council member in West Hartford.
Mary Kay?
I'm going to try to break it down real quick. Mary Fay.
Mary Fay, that's right, Mary Kay. Mary Fay, right.
Mary Fay wears Mary. I don't think she wears Mary Kay. For those of you who know her. So listen, and I just want to remind you, it all started way back when, unfortunately, I got to bring it up again. The 11-year-old was bullied in a West Hartford school.
Correct.
Committed suicide. I only had one elected official that said they would assist me. It was Mary Fay. And she didn't. In fact, she dropped me like a hot potato when she realized I was a serious guy, and I set up an interview with Todd Feinberg, and everything went to heck. I called her out on it. That's when she sent me a text, get a F in life, stay on your meds, all that. So it goes way back to that with her. She believes I was harassing her, but I really wasn't. I really wanted an investigation on what happened.
You wanted her to do her job.
Fast forward. Yeah, exactly. Here you go. Bingo. Thank you. So last election night, I actually posted, thanks to a friend, sent me a video, although she won her seat again as a council member with the most votes. It's up to the RTC who they pick and select and elect for the leader within the RTC. Well, that night she found out her 10-year tenure was over. I forget how many years she was leader, but they decided to take a different direction only because of some of her behavior, and they'll tell you that. So, so that night she had a freak out. I put the video. If you go on Mark from West Hartford, I reposted it for those of you who are not familiar with Mary Fay. She had a freak out, and just a few weeks after that, I get a call from West Hartford Police. I think you remember this.
Sure.
She weaponized the police department in West Hartford to shut me down.
Yeah.
And I've asked you. In fact, this morning I was on with Gary Byron because he had her on.
Yeah.
And I outed her again for weaponizing yet another government entity. So when they didn't elect her as the minority leader in the RTC in West Hartford, the only recourse she thought she had was to file what I believe is like she filed a false harassment complaint by me. She filed a discrimination with it's the Commission on Human Rights and Opportunities. You're familiar with it. It's a big entity and it's serious stuff when you file a complaint.
Sure.
She says they didn't pick her as the leader because of her sexual orientation, being lesbian. Now, for almost 10 years, they supported her all along the way.
And none of that
And
matters
so
to Mary Fay now, because again, it's not about what you've done for me. It's what have you done for me lately?
Well, here's the funny part. And like I was able to talk with her and I asked her and she was silent. And I actually got silent. In fact, Fred from Middletown gave me kudos because he goes, man, I'm not used to you shutting up, but you timed it perfectly. I asked her within her complaint, even though it was against all membership, she pointed out 3 males. And next to their names, was Alberto Cortez, male, straight.
What?
Mark Zdenowitz, male, heterosexual. Then there was another one. Oh, Sean Daly, the RTC chairman, male, heterosexual. And I asked her on Gary Byron's show,
I heard it.
How did you come up with that? I said, where did that come from? Just because they're married and with children, but who identify, like, they don't use that as their
That's
pronouns
done. Yeah.
when
I
they
mean,
identify
it's
themselves.
done for the purpose. I mean, it's an obvious sort of ploy. But yeah, this is an interesting story in and of itself. And I think, look, I don't think it's going to go anywhere. It's laughable. I think that she understands that this is laughable.
Now, here's the thing, Reese. This is why I'm calling you. I'm hoping you'll assist.
Yes.
Because I know you know Mark Fitch.
Yes.
I'm meeting Mark Fitch. I have every piece of document. I have her complaint into the commission. And I have the counter response from the RTC. Mark Fitch and I are getting together. I'm going to give him everything because, of course, he could break it down more than you and I can in a 5-minute conversation. And, you know, the news, TV news isn't going to cover it. Because, again, getting back to journalism, there is none. And it's not going to be as comical as you think. This has never been.
No, I think this is incredibly. I think this is serious because, look, the cudgel that is the whole her sexual orientation being used to, in essence, bully people to give her a position that she's had already, she's tenured out of, okay, to then make this an issue where she feels as though she needs retribution, to suggest that after all of the times that she got the position, now this one time that she can't get it immediately becomes the thing that no one's ever used against her, shows exactly how disingenuous she is. But I think that should be focused upon. I think that's I think she should be outed as the fraud she is for just that. Unless she can explain to me, or anyone else for that matter, exactly how that could possibly be the case. I don't think she can.
Well, this goes beyond the sausage being made. What this did, too, is those of you who are going on Mark from West Hartford on Twitter or know of Mary Faye, they're desperate. RTCs in Connecticut are desperate trying to recruit membership. Who would ever want to join? Who would want to go in that snake pit? They all make a difference. You know, I get that all the time. Oh, you got a big mouth. Why don't you get involved? You think I'm going to be accepted in there?
No.
You think Mark from West Harvard is going to go in there, speak my piece, and they're going to go, you know, this guy's making a lot of sense.
It sounds like an exclusive club I would never want to be a part of.
Oh, I always bring up on Twitter. I know I piss them off. I go, the only good thing they do is they know how to make a mean artichoke, because I've been to one. Now, listen, before I get off the phone.
Yes, sir.
Two things before I get off the phone. I know you talked with the mother, and I think you're discounting or not taking credit. You and I, if we didn't out what happened at Solomon Schechter in West Hartford, that would have been another horrific story involving children in West Hartford. And I got to focus there because we've got a problem here. And, and maybe it does reflect the rest of the communities in Connecticut, but here in West Hartford, we got a problem. So I want to thank you for talking to the mother. I've been communicating with her.
Yeah.
I cannot wait for the interview.
Yeah.
This is something that I can't. This is a first.
Yeah,
There's
this is a crazy
attorney.
one. This is a crazy one because I'll be honest with you. The fact that we know who the players are, we know who's responsible. Heads should roll and resignations should take place. But you know, we'll air it tomorrow. And I'll break the whole thing down tomorrow afternoon. Thank you, boss man.
Good.
You got
Thanks
it.
all the time.
You got it, man. I appreciate you. We'll get to more of your phone calls in a minute. I knew Mark was going to call in about the Mary Faye thing. But if you want to talk about that or any of the topics that we talked about so far, please join us, 860-522-WTIC, 860-522-9842. Also, don't forget, it's the last days, not overall, we're not talking biblical here, but it's the last few days until Wednesday, which is the last day.
It's peanut butter jelly time, peanut butter jelly time, peanut butter jelly, peanut butter jelly, peanut butter jelly with a baseball bat, peanut butter jelly, peanut butter jelly, peanut butter jelly with a baseball bat.
I'm doing a Cabbage Patch in the studio. Make sure you get down to Between Rounds, the Bagel Bakery and Sandwich Cafe, and pick yourself up a Reese's peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Every purchase, $1 goes to the folks over at the Friendly Hand Food Bank. Help them out. Help us help them. And if you want to donate to the Friendly Hands Food Bank, please contact the Friendly Hands Food Bank. In fact, I understand this week they are moving into their new location. Mailman Mike, if you could send me a text and let me know. Because their new facility is a warehouse. You had to see the house that they were in. That place was wall to wall. They even had a section for tissues for Tim. Now he'll have a whole section inside the warehouse. Tissues for Tim. Don't think we forgot about that. We'll talk about that as well. I went to go visit Karen when I was there for the election day, and I went to Torrington to go check out the house. And it's a big house, but every room was stocked to the hilt. And Karen sends me over here, and she goes, hey, look, we've got the toiletries, too. And it was all the way to the ceiling. You couldn't even walk into the bedroom. And it was nothing more than tissue. It was tissue, toilet paper, paper towels, and She immediately said, tissues for Tim. And I went, wow. The donations were plentiful. So I want to thank all of you for doing that. So you guys give. You're great. You're great. You guys always looking out for those in need. Let's take another check of the weather and traffic. Jason Caterina, he's got your weather. And Mark Christopher is in the BPS Traffic Center. Roads getting better? I know we had something earlier.
Yeah, they are getting better. We had a couple of incidents earlier. They are both gone, Reese. Southbound 91 into Hartford, not bad at all. Just slowing 33 down to 32 A and B. Northbound 91, easy ride, Cromwell up into Windsor. Westbound 84 is a little tight, approaching the Bulkley Bridge at 47 Sigourney. 84 eastbound, losing some speed. 48 Capitol Avenue into the tunnel. 291 through 84, okay, east of the river. 2 eastbound, moving well, Glastonbury to Marlboro. Middletown's okay. Waterbury, 84 westbound, a little slow on the Mixmaster. 84 eastbound in Newtown, delays 10 to 11. South 95, New Haven, slows 46 down to exit 44. In southbound Parkway, you're seeing some slow traffic from 60 into the West Rock Tunnel. Northbound Parkway, a little slow, 59 into the West Rock Tunnel. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
For the rest of our Monday afternoon, pleasant and warmer with lots of sunshine. A beautiful day to kick off the week with the high of 77. Partly cloudy, comfy tonight. The low only dipping back to 49. Now Tuesday, another very warm day with increasing clouds. It'll be breezy. The elevated fire threat's going to continue in areas of dry brush due to the gusty winds and low humidity. The high of 79. Tuesday night, still mild, mostly cloudy. The low only down to 60. A pleasant day for us Wednesday, a mix of sun to partly cloudy skies. It'll be breezy and pleasant with the high of 71. A blend of sun and clouds Thursday, not quite as warm, but still quite mild with the high 67. Then cloudy with a thunderstorm in parts of the area on Friday to round out the week. You may want to take your umbrellas just in case, the high 75. Morning shower in the area Saturday. Otherwise, a mix of sun and clouds, pleasant too with the high of 68 Saturday. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
There's a lot happening in Washington and in your local neighborhood. Follow WTIC News Talk 1080 on the Odyssey app to keep up with the latest. And now, a WTIC News Update.
5:30, 75 degrees, mostly sunny skies in Hartford. I'm John Silva. WTIC 1080 News. A man accused in the murder of his roommate in Groton appeared before a judge virtually today. David Koffel is charged. A warrant states he and Suzanne Wormser had been feuding over money when he beat her with a baseball bat and disposed of her remains near Colonel Ledyard Cemetery. These due back in court in June. Board of Regents for Higher Education is announcing Connecticut State Colleges and Universities System Chancellor Terrence Cheng is not being extended, his contract that is, when it ends in June of next year. And beginning this July 1st, Cheng will transition to another role. He came under fire for lavish spending and questionable spending habits during his tenure. The board will name an interim chancellor. A woman is in the hospital after she was shot this morning in Hartford. Police found the victim alert and conscious on Farmington Avenue. She was taken to a hospital for treatment. UConn announcing that visas of 13 students have been reinstated. They've been revoked by the federal government earlier this month. No reason was given as to why. The Kremlin has declared a 72-hour ceasefire in Ukraine, in its war with Ukraine next week, as Russia marks Victory Day in World War II, 80 years since the defeat of Nazi Germany. The Vatican says the conclave to elect a successor to Pope Francis will begin May 7th. The date was chief on the agenda of cardinals holding informal meetings today to work out church business following last Monday's death of Pope Francis. Dow finished up 114 points today. The Nasdaq lost 16 points. The S&P was up 3. Baseball, the Red Sox have the night off. They start a series in Toronto tomorrow against the Jays. Yanks start a series in Baltimore against the Orioles tonight, and the Mets are playing in D.C. Eastern League Yard Goats have the night off, too. They begin a homestand tomorrow versus Chesapeake. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
We live in financially tough times. High grocery prices, high utility bills, and now the worry of tariffs and high car prices. That's why it makes sense to take advantage of outlet pricing. Buy your Subaru at the all-new Bertera Subaru outlet in Hartford and save hundreds, even thousands over other area Subaru dealers. Over 400 tariff-free Subarus are on sale at up to $4,000 off MSRP. Get a brand new tariff-free Forester for only $28,695 or lease for only $259 a month. Crosstreks lease for only $229 a month, plus huge selection of tariff-free Outbacks and Ascents all on sale. And with 0% financing on select new Subarus, you're guaranteed to save even more. Plus, every new Subaru at the Bertera Subaru outlet comes with a complimentary 100,000-mile warranty. So do what makes sense and buy your tariff-free Subaru at the all-new Bertera Subaru outlet in Hartford.
I got this wow.
91 at the corner of Weston and Jennings or online at BerteraMotors.com. Call 888-799-1150 for details.
1 minute. You putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle?
Thanks, sir.
Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Trust and Will knows that we'll all eventually need a will. How about right now? Trust and Will makes creating your will easy, like while you're lounging on the couch easy. Trust and Will is designed by attorneys but customized by you, and all documents are state-specific and secure. Find your plan at trustandwill.com and use offer code RADIO now for 20% off. That's trustandwill.com, offer code RADIO. Trust and Will is an online estate.
Here we go.
Visit trustandwill.com for details.
Hi, it's Chris Francis, former WTIC news anchor and reporter. Happy birthday, WTIC News Talk 1080.
Sorry about that. I was going to screw that up again. Of course I did. It's Reese on the Radio. We're back. And we're going to take your phone calls, of course, in a little bit. Please, if you would like to be the last but not least caller today, a lot of the regular callers still call in. But if you are new to the program, you don't always have to opine. Just get on the phones. In about another 15 minutes, just get on the phones, call 860-522-WTIC, 860-522-9842, so you can win a dozen bagels a month for 6 months, courtesy of Between Rounds, the Bagel Bakery and Sandwich Cafe. They are our friends, and they are giving this away to you. And if you like Between Round bagels, if you ever had them, you know that you can't pass this up. So give us a call at 860-522-WTIC. I also want to send a message all the way down south. It's been a while since I played this as an homage to a friend of the show. Many of you will remember this old jam. I do.
Stop your messing around. Better think of your future.
I used to play this for him all the time.
Time you straighten right out. Creating problems in town.
Rudy.
A message to you, Rudy. A message to you.
I just want to let him know that we still love him. It's been a while. Pick up the phone one day. Rudy, call up and say hello. We miss Rudy in Florida. Yeah, we'll get to that and so much more. I know, do I have any other audio sound bites that I had to get to? No, but I did have another story that I got into it. Also, I'll tell you a little more details, as Mark from West Hartford mentioned, about the story at the Solomon Schechter Day School. That is an incredible story of what I can only describe as, and I think we're seeing this culture of it as well. It is this protectivism of wrongdoers. And it has been like, it's unheard of. It would be one thing like someone defending Jesse James or somebody defending, the anti-hero. That I get. Now we've got people who are in support of criminals. I'm saying it everywhere, from Luigi Mangione to Carmelo Anthony. We're seeing this everywhere. To Abrego Garcia. Do you see this pattern? It is a growing pattern of these people. Just, I don't, it's wild. I don't even know how to describe it. But this has all happened within a calendar year. Think about that. Those three names I just mentioned, that happened within a year. That people are openly showing support for like the worst kind of people. The worst. It's crazy, but that's where we are. I think I want to talk about that a little bit tomorrow, but this story at the Solomon Schechter's Day School, very similar to that. When you hear it, again, you'll be outraged. And I think once we report it tomorrow, unfortunately, some people may have to think about their futures. So we'll get to that. Let's get another check of the weather and traffic with Jason Caterina and Mark Christopher. He's in the BPS Traffic Center. Hey, man.
All right, Reese, thank you very much. 91 southbound, delays 33 down to 32 A and B in Hartford. Northbound 91 moving well, Cromwell through downtown up into Windsor. Westbound 84 tight up approaching the Bulkley Bridge out to 47 Sigourney. 84 eastbound a little tight, 46 Sisson Avenue into the Bulkley Bridge. 291 384, no issues. 2 westbounds a little tight, 1D in East Hartford up to the 84 West Merge. Good ride through Middletown, 9 in the Aragoni Bridge. If you are traveling into Waterbury, 84 east and west, Route 8 north and southbound, moving okay. Seeing some slow traffic on right at the end of the Wilbur Cross Parkway from exit 67 up to exit 68W. If you are heading on the eastbound side of 84 in Danbury, a little slow 3 to 5. Again, a little slow 84 eastbound 10 to 11 in Newtown. Southbound Parkway is a little tight, getting by 60 in Hamden. South 95 New Haven slowing 46 down to 44 in New Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Oh, mainly clear tonight. Cool, the low down to 47. The sun will mix with some clouds for a breezy and very warm day on Tuesday, the high of 80. Wednesday, sunny to partly cloudy, breezy, still pleasant, the high 71. A blend of sun and clouds Thursday, mild, the high 67. Couple of showers and a thunderstorm Friday. Some of those could be strong to severe and bring some damaging wind gust, hail, and flooding downpours, the high of 75 on Friday. Right now, it's 69 in New London, it's 71 in New Haven, it's 75 in Hartford. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
We promise fast, friendly, reliable service. Visit us at calljoetheplumber.com.
At Progressive, we're making things easier. We'll help you bundle your home and car insurance together so you can save on both. Learn more at progressive.com or 1-800-PROGRESSIVE.
It's the Peter L. Brown Company's 65th anniversary. For a limited time, purchase high-performance double-pane windows from the Peter L. Brown Company and get an upgrade to super-efficient triple-pane glass at no additional charge. For a free estimate, please visit peterlbrown.com.
The Peace Lily is so last year. Hey, has anyone worked with fiddlenecks?
Shelby's popular flower shop is in full bloom.
We just got a request for an arrangement that evokes air. Who's up for that challenge? No?
She needs to hire a floral designer to nip foliage faux pas in the bud.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Our advanced matching helps find talented candidates so you can connect with them fast. Redeem your $75 credit at Indeed.com/credit. Terms and conditions apply.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small. Loud or quiet, find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
When you haven't found love, it can feel like everyone else warm in every movie, every song, and all the PDA. Looking for love sucks. Thankfully, California Psychics can give you the guidance you need to find the one. We guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. And new customers receive 20 minutes for just $20. Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com and experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
Will new tariffs impact small businesses? Rising costs and economic uncertainty can hurt your bottom line. But with Swish Funding, your business can stay strong. We offer fast, flexible funding solutions from $10,000 to $2 million for working capital, cash flow, and more. And as little as 24 hours with no collateral needed. If your business earns at least $1,000 per month and has been around for over a year, you could qualify today. Go to swishradio.com and use code RADIO.
You okay? What happened?
Swishradio.com, code RADIO.
What's up, everybody? You know who it is.
You know who it is. You know who it is.
It's Reese on the Radio. Frederick Douglass of the 21st century.
Right now.
It's WTIC News Talk 1080.
All right, we're almost out of here. 860-522-WTIC. Let's get to the phones. Get all these phone calls in there. White Mike, as usual, call in is at the end of the show. What's going on, sir?
Man, so you're absolutely right that something's changed in our society and people are making heroes out of criminals. It kind of, the one I remember that stuck in my mind is Trayvon Martin.
Yes.
You know, that was the first time I remember that we had an actual PR firm show up and just blanket the airwaves with a negative representation of this piece of crap. And people bought it.
Yeah.
People are so easily led. Like the women, now look, Luigi Mangione would not be as popular as he is if you look like Danny DeVito.
Right. Fair enough.
A lot of these dumb women just saw this cute guy and they're like, oh, you know, he's a hero. He killed a billionaire. When we did was kill like some CEO who worked for billionaires.
Right.
You know, it's disgusting, dude. And now there's
the Trayvon Martin thing, just to cut in, the Trayvon Martin thing, the interesting part about that is about how the stupidity of everyone. That narrative was, there was more dissemination or distribution, better word, distribution of the 12-year-old photo of him than the actual photo of him at 6'1" at the 7-Eleven where he bought the items for the lean that he was drinking, the Skittles and the Arizona fruit punch. That photograph inside the 7-Eleven, the last photograph before he died, never made the rounds. But the picture of him as a 12-year-old, that made every newspaper.
Dude, the PR firms that get on these cases can turn into a gold mine. I mean, Trayvon Martin's family got $1 million from the HOA.
Mm-hmm. Sure did.
Because they sued and the HOA just settled.
Yep. Not to be outdone, Freddie Gray did better than that, 7.5.
You know, and then look how much money George Floyd's family got.
Indeed.
For a guy who overdosed.
Yeah.
And they made that guy into a hero or a martyr when he was an absolute violent criminal. What, he held a gun to a pregnant woman's belly while he robbed her?
Yeah. Yeah.
And yet people just leaped on this guy. And then it translates into football. Like, nobody was fanboying over Cam Ward. Cam Ward's a black man who got drafted number 1.
Mm-hmm.
But who are they all feeling bad for? Shedeur Sanders.
What?
Because it's racist that they didn't draft him, but they drafted a lot of other brothers before him.
I'll go further than that. Out of the 64 first draft picks, apparently there were 64. I didn't even realize that. Even there's only 32 teams, but 64 draft picks happened. They said, I think the number was some 50, was it 59? Were African-American out of 64, and they screamed racism because Shedeur got drafted in the 5th round. I'm going, wait a minute.
I think John Gruden real quick put up on his Facebook page that he had sources in the league that said the owners called the GMs and said, don't put that guy on the board. We don't want anything to do with him.
Wow.
And reports are that Sanders in his interviews was, quote, wearing enough cologne to make people's eyes water, had headphones around his neck, blaring music, wasn't taking anything seriously. And when they asked where he'd be in 5 years, he said, mayor of this effing city.
Jesus. Yeah, that, you know what? Even Deion Sanders wasn't that arrogant. Yeah.
So, can you imagine, dude, it's a job interview and some dude has headphones on blaring like mumble rap at you. Like, bro, it's a job interview. It's a job interview, sir.
Yeah.
Put on a tie and a suit. Oh, he was dripping in jewelry, of course.
Yeah, of course he was. Again, because he thought it was all about him. Let me go. I got so many people I got to get to. White Mike, I appreciate you, buddy. Let me get to this. I've got next up Larry. Larry's in Wallingford. Hey, Larry.
Hey, Reese. Just public service announcement.
Mm-hmm.
I've received 70 phone calls from scammers in the last month. I counted them. I collect them up. So if WTIC wants to do something, it's about solar energy.
Okay, that's the scam. The scam is about solar energy?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I can't believe it's Danny, Daniel, Adam, and it's an AI that's dialing from a 860 number.
Wow.
So just let people know out there.
You already did. You already did. So is it okay? So it's a scam about solar panels or just solar energy?
Oh yeah, no, solar energy, and it's green energy, and which is a legitimate company, American Solar, which is.
I think we lost him. Oh no, he put him on hold. Okay. All right. You know what? Let me get to this. Oh, we got to look at this. I'm stunned. He's actually called. It's none other than Rudy in Florida. Now, I've already gotten rid of the music and I can't play it now. What are you doing back here? What's going on, big guy?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you fine. What's going on?
Well, I don't want to let a junkie get strung out because he hasn't heard my voice.
Well, thank you. I got
the right song.
What's that?
I'm only calling because you didn't play the right song.
Oh, I know what you want. You want your favorite song.
Money Brothers, baby.
Okay, you want your song? Let me see if I have it for you. I probably don't right now because, of course, I should have thought of that. That should have lured you in like a big mouth bass. I should have played it for you. But I always play it for you.
Is this Hack FM or Whack FM?
There's no such thing. There's no such thing. In fact, it's so funny you mentioned that. I saw your post on X about that. So I'm finally retiring the whole Whack FM thing because, I had it for over 40 years since I was, 15 years old. So if you actually go to my radio page on Facebook, I just got rid of it because I'm finally putting that to bed. But I thought that was clever when you did, so that was why I gave you the shout out. But it's been a while. I'm glad to have you back. We miss you here. So anyway, go ahead.
Well, just to be clear about two things. One, I was never a big Feinberg listener.
Okay.
So this time of day, I didn't usually listen.
Okay.
But two, and you know what? I defend Tom all the way. It's his show. He does his show the way he wants. You have your show. Other shows in the history of WTIC were caller driven, and we had a little headbanging over that.
I know I know that the shows are generally caller driven. Right. I understand people's grievances.
Right. So, but the point is, I mean, I can't change the show. It's not my show. It's not the Rudy show from Florida. So if you want to go more commentary and less calls, that's your right. But it doesn't interest me.
I understand that. And trust me, I still take phone calls. I mean, that's the reason why you're on right now. But I missed you, bro. I'm just glad that you're back. And plenty of people miss you. Listen.
What is my song? If you missed me, you would have had it keyed up.
I will get it. I will get it keyed up before we get out of here.
I want to hear it live.
Oh, I can't do it now. Why would you put me under the pressure right now when I've got to go to all of these calls?
Shattuck can pull it off.
Yeah, that's probably because he has somebody. He has somebody to do it for him, and I've got to do it while I'm sitting.
He broadcasts out of an
Fine. Here we go. Okay, I got it.
House.
I got it. I told you that I would get it for you. So I'm working on it, and I will get it for you. Yes.
And I was the one that recorded Mark. If you're going to play that.
Yeah, I actually did find the audio. I found the audio on your page, and that was how I listened to it.
I posted the audio of Mark.
Right. Well, here's your
blocked by Mary Faye.
Here's your audio.
I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm blacker than black, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm blacker than black, and I'm black, y'all. I'm blickety black, blacker than black, I'm blacker than black, yo, because I'm black and I'm back.
Rudy always loves that piece.
Reese, let's hook up in New York and get some Crown Chicken together.
Goodbye.
I had Crown Chicken all over Philadelphia when I lived in Philly.
Yeah.
The greasiest, nastiest stuff at 3 a.m.
This is the reason, I had a heart ailment just because of that. That's the reason why I don't even eat fried chicken anymore. It's got to be baked. Those days of eating fried chicken are over for me.
I only bake my chicken because I don't want to end up like exactly what you're trying to avoid.
Yeah, exactly. All right, buddy. I will talk to you soon. I'll reach out to you later. All right. Let me get to Lori in Glastonbury. Hello, Lori.
Hey there. I didn't know if you were keeping up with our Red Sox, but they had a pretty good weekend. And I'm super late to the show, so I that's all I really kind of wanted to comment on. And I also wanted to ask if you knew what had happened to Jaron Duran, how a member, and I think you know that there's a Netflix documentary where Duran was very open about his mental health issues and about his attempted suicide. And one of the fans from Cleveland, one of the Cleveland people, yelled at him. He was on the field and yelled at him to tell him to go kill himself.
Oh, man.
And I just wanted to ask you, like, what? I know what I would like to see happen to this gentleman who said this horrible thing. But, I mean, you know, like, tell me you're a terrible person without telling me you're a terrible person. But,
what do you think? Do you think that a fan should be banned from the stadium for saying that, for yelling that out to someone?
I was just about to ask you that exact same question. Great minds, my friend. Great minds.
What I would do under those circumstances, I would say this. Now, look, there is some heckling that goes on at the stadium, and I think that as of late, the league, be it NBA, I know that sometimes that's happened with LeBron James. People have screamed and cursed at him, and LeBron has had them kicked out. Some of them have been banned for life. Some of them have been banned for the season. They've had, you know, they've gone to one extreme to the other as far as banning them in that regard. If it is a home team and someone is in the bleachers screaming at that individual, saying something like that to him, like completely offensive, like go kill yourself, like that. Let's say it's an opposing fan, right? Let's say it's, you know, it's the Boston Red Sox and a Padres fan is making that statement. You ban him from the stadium. It's no harm, no foul. He's only going to show up when his team shows up. You're not losing a lot of money. But if it's a season ticket holder, that's a rough one. I would go so far as to fine them, or even tell them that, or give them a warning, if you will, to say that the next time that happens, you know, then they have a potential ban on their hands.
Okay, well, then this is where you and I diverge then, because I'm ban his butt. I would ban him so fast it would make his head spin. You know what you're saying. You know to whom you're saying it. You know it's inappropriate, and yet you're still choosing to say it, knowing full well that you may very well be banned for it.
But I would say, okay, but I'm saying, okay, let's talk because do you think there's a difference between the season ticket holder and just the casual fan who bought a ticket that day?
You know what? Okay. Maybe I'm a little too close to the subject.
Okay,
because,
understood.
But regardless, you don't say stuff like that. You just don't.
I know. I agree with you that it's a tough thing to say. It's a rude thing to say. But there has to be, because remember, this is a controversy that goes beyond the statement and the individual it was said to. I'm telling you, once that conversation goes outside that stadium, it becomes a subject matter on PTI with Wilbon, you know, and then once that, you know, Stephen A. Smith is making commentary about it, then all of a sudden the story goes national, and it becomes a debate about what are the levels of which you remove somebody from a stadium for making a statement like that. And then it's, of course, there's the free speech this, and that's a private industry, so I don't think free speech applies here. But it's got to be, what's the level of punishment?
You get to say what you get to say,
right.
But there is a price to be paid because
Agreed.
You've said something to someone who is open, and it's so hard for men to be open about their emotional issues.
Yeah, I think it's like walking the tightrope over the Grand Canyon. When it comes to people who say things like that, I say, look, you know, if you're going to say something that is inflammatory, I want you to treat it like a tightrope over the Grand Canyon. You can make it onto the other side and no harm, no foul. But whatever's incoming while you're on that tightrope, you got to face the consequences. It's a long way down. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah.
So I agree with you on that respect.
Yeah, I would be banned at least for the rest of the year. Like you just don't get to say that.
I think that's okay. You know what? There, you and I can meet a little middle ground. Maybe, you know, because it's again. But I also say, if it's a season ticket holder, you run the risk of offending other people, you know, who are season ticket holders, because they may be offended as well. But I get your point nonetheless. Thank you, Lori. I got to get up out of here.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye. All right, folks. We've started our week. You can always catch Reese on the Radio by going to reeseontheradio.com. Again, that's REESE on the radio.com. Yes, the website's back up. We've got more stuff on there as well. We've got pictures, photographs. We've got video, content, all that good stuff. Check us out. As I always say, radio is free, so we thank you for paying attention. Remember to keep JC in your hearts and in your mind. Sean Patrick, we love you and we miss you. Remember that panic is not planning, so plan your work and work your plan. Me, I'm Reese on the Radio. You, make sure you get down to between rounds and get yourself a Reese's peanut butter and jelly sandwich before it all runs out on Wednesday. And let's get the, I guess, last of, if not for the rest of the evening, weather and traffic with Jason Caterina and Mark Christopher, who's in the BPS Traffic Center. Good night, Mark.
I'll tell you what, that fan wouldn't have said it to Jared's face.
Yeah, of course not.
Because Jared is one of the fastest guys in the major leagues. So he would, Jaron, I should say. Did I say Jared? Jaron. Yeah. One of the fastest guys in the major leagues, and he happens to be really jacked, too. So,
so what do you think? What do you think? Full-time ban or just banned from the game? Got to think about it, don't you?
Yeah, well, I mean, season ticket holder, man, that's a really harsh.
That's what I told you.
I would sit down with the guy and explain to him, hey, if that's another incident like this, you're going to lose your ticket. If you're a season ticket holder, you're going to lose it all.
Exactly.
But they definitely threw him out yesterday. He was asked to leave. So very unfortunate incident. Hey, if you're heading into Hartford right now, Reese, have a great.
All right, good sir. You enjoy your night.
All right, are you okay? You seemed a little. All right, you sounded a little agitated. Really, I was like,
oh no.
Right? No, okay.
Problems.
All right,
I
will see you mañana.
For eastbound brief.
Yes, sir.
As you move into 291, 384, okay, 2 eastbound moving well. Quiet Middletown. Waterbury looks good, 84 and 8.
All right. What's with this ad? Worry about the high prices, bro. For the last 3 years, we've been paying new car prices for used cars. Yes, I agree with you, Eric. I agree with you. Eric, send me a link to the new show. You didn't send me a link to it. I don't know why, but I think, just send me a link to it. And I don't know why, but I think I lost your page on Spotify. Send that to me when you get a chance, all right? Okay, folks, we are out of here. We will see you tomorrow. Same bad time, same bad channel, all right? So be good to each other. Y'all be good.